I never get tired of hearing that song.
That's a dope opening, dude.
Welcome to the PanelCast. Not even really the PanelCast. This is our live draw session called The Madness of Cupid. How you doing, everybody? I'm your host, AJ, and this week, or in this live draw at least, I am being joined by, I'm being drawn by Justin. That's right. And I'm also being joined by the sexy Joey Labartnick. How you doing, Joey?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Feeling sexy and romantic.
Yeah, there you go. I can tell by your PBS SoCal shirt there that you're supporting the localness.
Giving love to the local news. Yeah.
Awesome. So in this live draw, we're gonna be talking about our wonderfully amazing romantic history. All of us are, we all met our true love once, and that's the only person we've ever been with the entire time. So we're going to tell you the story of how all that happened. Joey and his long living romance and marriage, and Justin and his many one night flings.
Oh yeah, that's me.
We're going to be talking about all that stuff while we're drawing different instances of Valentine's Day cards and Cupid cards of just, I don't know, different kind of messed up things you would see Cupid do. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Justin, what do you got going?
I am working on a card, and my version of a Valentine's Day card.
Can you give us a little peep before you get too deep into it?
Yeah. Let me finish this real quick. All right, so this is gonna be the front, the two hearts. They like the candy hearts, and with a message on the front of it, and then over here is going to be the inside. So I'm going to have to flip this.
Can you show the camera?
Oh, I thought you had the camera. Sorry. Second. All right. So yeah, this is going to be like the front of the card here. Let's see where I'm at. Am I good? Okay, there I am. All right. And yeah, this is going to be the front of the card here, and it's going to be the two candy hearts, the message on it, and then the inside is going to be the witch casting a love spell.
Awesome. And as you can see, we have two different. Sorry, I'm distracted. We have two different cameras going here for Joey. We have his face, which is remarkably un-Cupid-like, and we have the art that he's working on. Joey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your piece?
Mine's going to be it's a half demonic, half cherubic Cupid, sort of representing the dual nature of romance and how it both is the devil and the best at once. There should be a big bloody heart at the bottom down here. This is my rough, as you can see. Yeah, mostly a scribble now, but
that looks awesome. I like the cigarette.
What's that?
I like the cigarette.
Yeah, you got to go with the scar. I actually want a little Edward Robinson. The classic
Yeah. There you go. The
a little bit
mobster
on this. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
throughout the, go ahead. What were you? I couldn't hear you.
So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, it looks good so far. I'm excited. We're hoping to be joined by other artists throughout the show. But for now, you get these two guys drawing. I will be running around back and forth. As you can tell, I am here. Hi. But I'll also be running around doing behind the scenes producer camera work and directing work. So don't mind me. But I will be asking tons of questions. So, Justin.
Yeah.
You're a happily married man.
Yes, I am.
Are you saying that because you're worried your wife and daughter are watching the show?
I know for a fact they are not, so I'm just saying that to be honest.
Nice. Will they be catching the replay of the show?
Probably. Athena watched the Krampus one later on, but yeah, they probably will.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she did. She wanted to watch this one, but she had a birthday party to go to.
Well, Tell her to stop having friends, like we do.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So, how long have you guys been married?
Let's see. So 2007. Yeah, whole 17 years, or
Jeez.
it'll be 18 this year, I guess.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. It's been a while. Yeah.
Hold on one
Did you all do Valentines while you were courting? Were you into that?
We did stuff just as an excuse to do stuff, but it was never like, oh, I keep looking at this.
No, you want to touch the Joey over here?
Yeah, exactly. It's hard like not looking at Joey while I talk to him.
Sorry.
No, that's cool. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, we use it as an excuse just because we wanted to do stuff, so we're like, oh, let's go do this for Valentine's, let's go to this show, this concert. And even now that we don't go out, concerts that much or anything, it's just like we'll find some little thing to get. It's like just an excuse to buy each other something. So we don't really
shop.
Yeah, and excuse to go do something if we can. But we've never really been like into it as a whole thing,
Yeah, I feel that.
You guys do romantic dinners or anything like that?
Yeah, we go out to dinner.
Movies, or anything.
Yeah, I mean that's generally if we can get out for a dinner movie, we're pretty excited. Yeah.
What's your favorite as a couple Valentine's Day movie?
I know for sure it's Down with Love with Ewan McGregor and
for sure.
Oh, we both love that movie. Yeah, we watch it every Valentine's Day. Love that. I love the production design. Have you seen it, Joey?
No, I've never seen this. What is this?
Okay, so it's a romantic comedy with Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger, and it takes place in the 60s. And like his best friend is Niles from Frasier.
Okay. Yeah.
But
all right.
It all takes place like in mid-century 60s, and the production design is awesome. It is like crazy, like ultra 60s movie stuff. And you got to check it out, dude. It's really cool. And it's got a cool, rom-com story, and it's funny and everything. But just watching the production design and costume design and stuff, it's thick, dude.
Do they go like hard mod since it's 60s Britain? Do they go?
Yeah, it's like full on, like it's like not so much. It's like that in between, like because it's like very Rock Hudson Dort's Day, but like
the witty banter.
What's that?
The witty banter and
yeah, it's super like witty, like ambiguous, banter to where they could be talking about sex or they could be talking about normal everyday stuff, just like all those old movies. And yeah, it was super cool, dude.
No, I've never seen that. Interesting.
Yeah. I would check it out. It's got a cool story and like cool supporting cast. Like Tony Randall's even in it, so it really feels like it's like super from the 60s and everything. But yeah, it's pretty dope. Anyway, yeah, that is our favorite romantic comedy. We watch it all the time.
Is there like a tradition? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Is there anything? I'm trying to find us on the YouTube so we can watch it as it's streaming, so you can stop staring at the computer.
Yeah, that would be handy
instead of the TV screen. But no. Well, we're done. What is your tell us a Valentine's Day horror story?
I don't think I really have too many.
What's the worst Valentine's Day you had without being depressing? Like, I don't want to hear about like somebody dying on that day.
Oh, no. I don't do it. Honestly, I don't know if no one like I've ever been with has really been into Valentine's Day. So it's never been that big a deal. So I've never had a really bad one. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Well, you grew up more punk rock style, skater.
Yeah.
Thrasher styles.
Right. And like I said, even today, I mean, me and Katie were like, hey, we really want to buy this, $50 board game. Oh, let's get it, for each other for Valentine's Day present.
Right.
That's like we do, and then we'll spend Valentine's Day playing it, so it's always been real laid back. Even with girls I've dated, it's never been such a big deal. And so I never really had like a bad one or have a bad experience with it.
Well, then what's the inspiration behind what you're working on today?
Oh, I just think I thought of Valentine's Day, and I thought of just like a love spell, and then I thought like, what if the part of the spell was those chalky candy hearts with the message on it, and so incorporated the old I put a spell on you on one candy, and then because you're mine on the other candy, and
Nice.
then it's gonna have the witch, and she's basically the witch from the logo.
Got to get that sweet Jay Hawkins.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
And what about you, Joey? Tell us about your Valentine's Day experiences.
Well, my piece is about the dual sides of Valentine's Day, the cherub and the demon, the dark and the light side of Valentine's Day. I've never been a big Valentine's Day person. Luckily, I've dated a lot of cynics. I continue to.
Luckily or unluckily?
Luckily,
it's amazing how we all became friends. We all have like the same patterns going on.
Yeah. So I've never had to work that hard for Valentine's Day. I work hard every other day of the year for my significant other, and she'll vouch for that, I would hope, wherever you are. No, I don't know. I always felt it was kind of a Hallmark holiday, but I recognize that it's important. And this is a piece about the dual side of that. We're going to get a little bit of demon. We're going to get a little the positive. We might have a bloody heart by the end of it down at the bottom. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see where it goes.
See where the mood takes you.
Where the mood takes me. Where Valentine's Day takes me.
Oh, you got any plans this year?
No, not yet. If you were to put me in the spotlight, I'm actually in the process of finding a really nice spot to get a reservation at, because that's what I do.
Does Beth not know? Is Beth watching this right now?
Probably not.
Well, then you're safe, right?
Yeah. We watch it later after the fact, but she won't be watching it right now. No.
Well, as long as she watches it after Valentine's Day, then you'll be okay.
Yeah. I have to admit that I'm fairly good at like picking good places and making a show of it and what have you. But that's just because, you got to. Look, when you're dating, you got to do that. You got to be good about these kind of things. You got to take it into consideration.
Yeah. Well, it's like they say, you got to be good to be bad. You want to be good on the date so you can be bad after the date.
Gotta be good to cruel to be kind and not good to be bad, but same difference.
Whatever, dude. Like, you can rewrite lyrics to whatever you want it to be in your head, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Any horror stories?
I've never had any. Like I said, apparently I date a type. Most of the women I've ever dated have always been very cynical of Valentine's Day, and I've always been very appreciative of that. Because it sets the bar so low. You're like, well, all I got to do, all you do is a minimal amount. Suddenly I'm a rock star in this category, and that's how it turns out. The bar is set so low. By other people, though. That's what I'm saying. By other people, the bar gets set so low.
It's like, I'm damaged, so I date damaged people.
Right. God bless the damaged.
Hey, come on. We're all there a little bit.
Right, exactly.
I ain't got a lie to kick it.
No, but I've never had a horror story. I've never had like a, oh my God, you didn't do Valentine's Day right. Now I'm going to explode kind of moment.
Well, how about let's forget the day. Do you have any like crazy romantic gestures that you've ever done, or like really just why the hell did I do that moment?
No, other than spending a lot of money on some great places. No, I've never laid out roses, like the petals. I've never laid a
Yeah.
of roses. None of that nonsense. You know, the problem is I'm too cynical for Valentine's Day. You know, I'm like, well, what are you supposed to do? What do you want to see me bleed? Maybe, maybe they do. I don't know.
Same with you, Justin.
I mean, I like to do my thing is like if I want to like do something romantic, is I usually like make a cool card for whatever the present is. Like one year we were I got her tickets to see John Mulaney for Valentine's Day, but got us tickets to see John Mulaney for
Right.
Valentine's Day.
That's a gift for both of them.
Yeah,
it was for her.
Well, it's like I said, we buy a game that we want to play. So, but no, I got her tickets. But I made this card, and I had John Mulaney, and I like cut out his face and gave him speech bubbles and all this stuff. And
Oh,
I do stuff like that.
You designed a card.
Yeah. Like I made multiple copies of his face and cut it out and made him like give him his little message and stuff.
He got romantic. That's
So that's
effort.
That kind of stuff I like to do.
That's the whole like. Well, it's the
stuff,
thought that counts bullshit that comes into play, right?
Well, when you're an artist, you can do that kind of thing, and it gets, and it gets so much.
It's pretty awesome, dude. It's a good. It's
always well received.
Right.
Generally well received.
Good backup habit.
Yeah.
Like just the other day, a buddy of mine was having a birthday, and I got him a gift card for the record store. But I just drew this real quick because me and him are both Maiden fans. I just drew this real quick Eddie, but I drew his hand like this, and then I taped the gift card like that to it. And I mean, it was like a 10-minute drawing. And dude, he opened it up, and he was just like, "Oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen!" And put it up like in his house. And I was like, "Oh wow, So yeah, it is nice being able to fall back on being creative. What's that for?
That's for us normal people that don't have that option.
I forgot it. I forgot about normal people.
All right. Hold on. Here's a.
That's so echoey.
I heard the mic, guys. Sorry, I'm putting on the Justin cam here.
Oh, cool.
So we can see his artwork. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right on. Thank you.
Now you're gonna, as you can see, the gimbal is all working on Justin. See, all the artists get the cool stuff and all the attention. The writers over here, we're just gonna sit here.
Well, we couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't be here doing this if it weren't for you.
So he's blaming me now. You hear that, guys?
This is your fault, AJ.
Blaming you for a reason for me to go somewhere and draw like all day.
Yep, I'm the bad guy.
I know. I'm very happy about that.
So, I'm going to tell you guys about a romantic story.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is not my own.
Okay. Even better.
I don't have a lot of romantic stories. My wife and I are a romantic story, but I will get back to that later. That, however, looks like an awesome romantic story, and I can't wait to see it.
What?
The Gorge.
Oh.
Which comes out on Valentine's Day. I'm excited for The Gorge. Joey, have you heard anything about it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Tell me about it. Well, tell your story, and then you tell me about the Gorge afterward.
Okay.
Vice versa,
All right. Well, I say The Gorge because the ad came up on the TV. So anyway, the story I have. We had this friend. He was a very dear, close friend of ours. His name was Wesley Buell. And this had to happen, I'd say, about 30 some odd years ago. And he was courting a girl. And he decided that he was going to take her out for a picnic at the park. So him and his buddy got together and they devised this plan. His buddy goes up to the park. Sorry, not park, cemetery.
Oh, okay. That changes things.
Look,
Runs
with the
up-
people we know, they mean the same thing.
They mean the same thing, dude.
Oh.
And your hands are blocking the artwork, Justin. Jeez.
Well, yeah, that's what you get for having a left-hander.
Anyway, so the first friend, his name is Fred. He goes out to the cemetery at night, sets up the blanket, makes everything look all nice, all great, and so that when Wes takes his date out there, surprise! There's a blanket with food and charcuterie board and the whole nine, and wine, and makes Wes look like the badass, right? So Wes looks cool. Everybody, the great goes great. Everything's awesome. And then when Wes gets up to leave, he's like, his date's like, shouldn't we clean up and stuff? He's like, nah, it's cool. And then they walk away. And then our friend Fred shows up and cleans everything up, and it's all good.
Okay.
That's a cool romantic story in my point of view.
Yeah.
The part that's not cool was the fact that Fred had to hide behind a headstone for 3 hours while they were on their date.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to everything that was going on and then wait for them to finish so that he could go clean everything up.
He's such a trooper. That is such a thing that he was into.
That's Fred, though, right?
Right.
So,
like, I don't feel like there were any regrets.
there were no regrets. Even years later, Fred had passed. Wes had passed away a while ago, and he was when he passed away, he was happily married to our friend Linda, and with a beautiful daughter Terry. And this date had been years in the past, but even before he had passed, and even talking to the date now, they still remembered very fondly as something that was like just a really awesome and romantic and a moment that made him look really badass.
He was such a romantic beast. I took all my advice from him, and then I promptly ignored it. But I would field all the advice, the romantic advice from him, because it was really the best.
Yeah, that was Wes. He was a sweetheart, and Wes would actually do the same thing. Here's my romantic story, if there ever was one to tell. Our friend Wes managed Boca de Beppo's out in Claremont, Upland, right, Joey? Claremont or Upland?
The audio is kind of weird, AJ.
Huh? Can you hear me? Oh, and hold on. Hello, Joel.
Yo, I made it.
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you guys. How you doing? Good day. Good day.
Very good.
Everyone, please welcome to the stream, Mr. Joel Katz of Fictional Studios. I see you're all set up, Joel.
Yeah, it took me a second to get my crap straight, but I think I got it. I just got to remember to look at the camera occasionally. I keep looking forward at a computer that I'm not using. Let me turn that off. All right.
Well, awesome. Well, we're talking about romantic stories, and I am on mine. So here we go. Wes ran Boca de Beppo's up in Upland, Claremont area. And when I was first dating my now wife, I decided that I was gonna take her and her parents out to dinner, and it was kind of like our little, I don't know, dating anniversary type thing. So I told Wes that I was gonna come out there. So we went out there. I took out her parents and her, and my friend Wes made me look like I was the man. He brought out like every type of. I mean, you guys have been to Boca de Beppo's, right? He rolls out like all the different French breads that they had, the garlic breads that they had, all the different pastas and pizzas and everything. And you've seen the meatballs at Boca's, right?
I was going to say, those meatballs, that's where it's at, is the meatballs.
Yeah, those things are massive.
Yeah, I was
And
going to
we've
say, I
got-
want to make sure I remembered correctly, right? Well, one of them alone.
yeah, it's like a good pound. It's like a good pound or two. You could bowl with that thing,
It's
man.
just a
Mashed
meatloaf in the
together,
shape of a
that's-
meatball.
Yeah.
Those things are like, yeah, they're like ball bearings on a DC-10. You know, they're just huge. And like we had we had our whole table was just filled with all this food, right? And great Italian wine was coming out. We had the whole thing. And Wes charged me 50 cents for
Dang, dude.
everything.
That's crazy.
And
It's cool as hell.
I had to give him I gave him a 20 just to tip the waitress. And I kept trying to give him more money, but he wouldn't let me. Like we went off the scene, like on the side. I was like, Wes, you gotta let me pay for this. You gotta let me do something. You know, he was like, no, man, this is your in-laws, this is your family. When I was homeless, Wes was there to take care of me. When I needed it, Wes gave me a car. Like Wes was just there.
Yeah.
You know, he was just that kind of friend. But he's like, I'm just so proud to see where you've come. I'm glad you're in this position. Let me make you look good in front of your female friend, in front of your wife.
He was a hopeless romantic.
Right. And so all I could do was say thank you. We had to give him, like, we had to write a check so we could change to tip out everybody. And I walked out of there, and sure enough, that, you know, we're married. Here we are later.
All right.
You know, and that's my romantic story. And that's thanks to Wes. Wes, thank you, my brother, wherever you are, man. I miss him a lot, and we talk about him often. So
I'm definitely less romantic without him around.
yeah, absolutely, I agree. Same.
But you're also saying that extremely large, meaty, ball-shaped things can lead to love.
Yes, at
Okay.
least in your mouth, they can, Joel.
I don't think I could fit more than one, and one's a stretch. You know,
Literally.
there were younger days, but those are gone. Those are gone.
All right, Joel. So show us what you're working on and tell us about it.
What I'm working on?
Yeah.
Right now, the paper's blank, but I'm going to make it happen as fast as I can. I'm also really trying to eyeball and see what you guys are doing, because I'm always so fueled and stoked by everything I see that you guys do.
Let's see what we can do here. See about shifting away.
I mean, I can tell you my premise of what I'm about to work on if you want to hear that until I get there. But
yeah, please.
You know, a lot of times I'm used to, you're used to the cherub, kind of little tummy, look. But I'm going to go full Arnold in his weightlifting days. And I'm going to probably throw some large guns. Now, the ammunition is going to probably have heart tip bullets, but that's kind of where I'm going to go. I kind of figured all of us were going to take the cute version and definitely jack it up backwards, because that's just too much fun. Let me see.
Just showing Joey's real quick, and then.
I mean, I definitely see some horns, and I definitely see some smoking going on in there, so I'm already loving it.
Don't mind me. I'm just playing with the layout a little bit, trying to give everybody a little look at what everybody else's work.
But I mean, at a basis, I'm glad you have us do this, because we don't. Sometimes, I mean, there's plenty of things I want to draw and want to do in projects, but it's nice if you get pushed from an outside source to try a topic you didn't come to your own mind on your own. It just gets you to do stuff you might not have normally done. So I appreciate it.
I like that too. It's like having like a thing where you have a theme that you wouldn't normally work on, and makes you stretch a little bit,
A little bit more than a homework assignment.
Yeah.
A little bit more, yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to say that there aren't some greats out there that made some fabulous stuff, but I'm sorry, any of the projects that I know are probably my favorite, it probably took no less than 100 different people that contributed to make it what it was. So, it just takes more. It takes other people. So,
Right.
All right.
So tell us about your romantic life. What is your most romantic Valentine's Day?
Specifically Valentine's Day? Gosh. Well, here's the thing. First off, I think most of the people I've been with, and Kelly, my girlfriend, we don't go out on Valentine's Day because it's a nightmare. We'll go out on any other day of Valentine's Day and celebrate it. I didn't say we didn't celebrate it, but it's just a day before or day after, you can suddenly magically get into places. So we don't go on those days. We're pretty low key. I mean, I'm gonna probably get in trouble for saying this, but Valentine's Day is definitely a higher percentage for the ladies. It's for the ladies. Guys, we're not as complicated when it comes to that stuff, I don't think. You can do very little, and we're like, oh yeah, sweet, you love us, great, awesome. You could give me flowers, but it would be flower.
Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which I have received from her for Valentine's Day, actually. And I still don't really even know how she acquired it because it's not her thing. But, gosh, Valentine's Days. I could tell you just romance stories, but whether they landed on Valentine's Day, that's going to be debatable.
All right, give us that then.
Also without getting in trouble.
You sound like you have a lot of reasons to get in trouble, Joel.
Well, because when you're telling a story that involves another person, I got to wonder if I can tell the story. I think it was pretty epic, but I'm going to step out of the room real quick and get full permission to tell this story. If I get the green light, then I'm going to go ahead and tell it because it's some Notebook shit, except it lasts a little longer than 60 seconds because I remember watching that movie with and I was just the whole culmination of everything into them finally getting together, if you've seen the movie. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, it's over? Well, that was too close to real life. You were supposed to make that scene last a lot longer. But if you know what I'm talking about, do you know what I'm talking about, the love scene in the movie?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They really built it up. And then it's kind of done. And they were pretty much there smoking a cigarette. Like, well, what do you want to do with the rest of the movie? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. We'll pull something.
Yeah, that was called My Honeymoon.
You're like, what? What are you worried about? We got the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I know. Look, if you add everything up in the rest of our lives, it almost equals an hour. You should be happy.
Oh, that's a solid hour. What do you think? I'm going to go run and I'm going to get clearance on this. So you guys fill in for me while I get this green light.
Ask the boss. We'll be here.
Yeah. Just, I don't want to be in court over this later. And she's citing this video. I'll be right back.
This can be brought up in court.
Yeah, I was going to say she would just label it Exhibit A.
Right.
Man, am I going to get subpoenaed at some point? Or I'm a little concerned.
Well, we're chugging along here. We are half an hour in. We've got one viewer. Oh, John Hartronet over there, buddy. How you doing, John? John used to write on our website. You can go check out his columns right now. They're really awesome on the Forbidden Panel website. Joey seems to be frozen over there, or at least debating what he's going to draw. And even a little bit muted over there, Joey.
Joey?
Yeah. You're. We can't hear you at all, sir. So that's fine.
How about now?
There you go.
Now we can hear you. Your phone is frozen,
Is it
but it's
echoing?
also echoey.
Yeah, it's echoing. All right, hold on. Hold on. How about now?
That's better.
Perfect. The perils of two screens. Not that I'm
Yeah.
using, but yeah.
Yeah, I mute the phone and keep the computer on.
It's actually the opposite. Mute the computer and keep the phone. The phone's right below my face while I draw.
Yours is coming up pretty good. Looks good. I can't help it, but the poster of Che that Joel has in the back kind of looks like Willem Dafoe.
That's actually Weird Al. It's from the Mandatory Fun album and tour that he did. And it was great because when he actually came out on stage, he was dressed very, very Che. And yeah, he just demanded fun. It wasn't an option. And I love Weird Al.
Dude, that man's a national treasure, man.
I just don't.
I fucking love that guy.
If aliens
Language.
if aliens land in
love
Weird
that
Al,
guy.
yeah, if he gets on the ship and he leaves with the aliens, and the aliens say, "Hey, we gave you some of these people to help you, and you just didn't. You messed up. You didn't utilize it." So Weird Al says, "Yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go home now. I gave you all the fun I could give you, and you just didn't absorb it the way you should." I imagine in real life he's probably the same guy. He's probably super fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Did you watch the movie?
Which movie?
The one with Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, weird. Or right now.
Yeah, weird.
That one,
Yeah.
sadly, I actually haven't gotten to see yet, but I really do want to see it. I'm sure Radcliffe probably did a good job, and with Weird Al's blessing, I'm sure. But I mean,
I didn't watch it either, but I thought it would be weird to watch, 6'3" guy portrayed by a 5'3" guy. But
I mean, maybe they had him standing on a box like anybody who was next to John Wayne. Like, I don't know.
If they can make Elijah Wood look like a hobbit, they can make Daniel Radcliffe look a foot taller.
Well, you remember the actor? I feel so bad for not remembering his name, but he played Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Come on, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy. He's actually a very big guy.
Sala
Yeah,
from Raiders.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, he's at least 6 feet, if not more. And
Yeah.
they managed to make him not. I mean, movies got their they got their ways.
I know God made me look like I'm 5'6", but I'm really 5'4" in real life.
Those 2 inches really get lost in the camera. You're good.
They do.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, eventually it will all add up to a decent size, guys, in a long term of marriage.
You gonna keep a chart?
Yeah.
Keep a little log.
It's like a height chart on the.
I was about to say, are you like marking
on the edge of my door
on the wall? You're like,
yeah,
right?
just like that. Just like that.
Right.
So 13 years means 5 inches. So
I don't really understand this exchange rate.
well, I'm Korean, so factor that in. Factor in the won to peso American exchange rate, and then you're fine.
There you go.
Which, thank you, Suicide Game, because I had forgotten what the Korean equivalent of $1 was. Or Squid Game.
Oh yeah, when I'm watching Squid Game, when they're saying billions and millions, and I kept having to stop, and even though
I pull out the calculator and like won to dollars.
Yeah, and a couple times I was like, oh yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough.
Yeah. No way that's enough.
No, but also, hey, I'm after probably pretty much honestly after game one, I'm not gonna lie, I would have taken my 50 G's and been gone. Like, let's
Yeah.
stop this. Let's stop this madness. And the other people would have been like, dude, remember there may be a scene, I don't want to ruin it, when a character says, hey, but if we go and attack the folks that want to stay, then we're just as bad as the bad guys. I'm like, no. I want to live, and I'm gonna make sure we drop enough of them so that we can vote our way out of here. And I don't mind being the same as the bad guys. I'm getting out of here. I'm done. It's, not doing it.
Right.
Maybe I'm just not an exciting guy, but games that might equal my death, I typically prefer things like bowling or,
Yeah.
you might sprain a wrist. You might have a few too many beers, but you're going home. You're going home.
And that's what matters in the end. It really does.
Yeah. And I was already stoked. I was like, I get to live and maybe have 50 grand? 50 grand tax free?
Hold on. Justin has yet to watch Squid Game.
I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just saying, Justin, if you could keep your life and also have 50,000 tax-free dollars, would you be like, I'm good?
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
At the cost of 400.
Exactly. But that's why
people dying.
And not dying. And not dying. Well, yeah, I don't want to die.
That's also why we're not going to get characters written into a show, because they're like, yeah, we need characters that want more than 50 G's. So,
I'm sorry, military me would have been killing people the first night.
I mean, a game's a game, So
my ass would have been Ninja Snake Eyes, like.
Oh, speaking, you said Snake Eyes, but not Snake Eyes. It took me a long time to figure out that Storm Shadow, the actor, in those really high quality, super extra budget, amazing G.I. Joe movies. But that actor, I didn't realize that he was. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I kept looking at him and thinking, I know this guy.
He's been in a lot of great action movies.
He's been in a lot of good things. It's just that was the first thing that I finally was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that doesn't ruin anything. That doesn't ruin nothing. So
it ruins everything. Thanks a lot, Joel.
Yeah.
Have you started drawing yet, Joel?
I really want to get this Arnold going, so I kind of really want to get a good reference. And so that's kind of really all I'm looking for right there. Some good reference.
Joey, all we're getting is the corner of your room.
What's that?
All we have is the corner of your room.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to.
It's because it's too crowded. I mean, like, I'm here and my drawing is right here. It's like literally right next to me. I can only have this. I need to get a webcam, obviously, clearly.
Well, I do want to tell you, you see what a webcam did for you? It's just I have this one and I'm still looking the wrong way and you still can't. So don't worry. You're going to build some anticipation. Right? It's all. Yeah.
Anticipation.
Plus, also, if there is such thing as the web show police,
right? Joel, I have to show you. I attached the wings to Overmind.
Oh, and yeah, there was so much about that thing we didn't get to see that I didn't get to really see, and I was just really waiting for
Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Studio Cells Overmind.
And again, the video, like when we were actually reviewing it, it just doesn't. It doesn't do it at all. I know. I mean, this is maybe over epic, but like you can tell people the Grand Canyon is a giant gaping crack in the earth, but until they see it, it just doesn't compute. Like if you were a child of an age to enjoy action figures and you were given that as a gift, you'd need nothing else after that. That's like that would be the only toy you ever needed, ever.
Can you
And
imagine getting this and then breaking it that day? Like,
I don't know. I mean, the parents would be dropping $100 a pop on therapy each session for a while, just to, you know. And later, other adults are like, "Oh, you're telling me the root of your adult alcoholism is because you broke a toy as a kid?" And you're like, "Yeah, you didn't see the toy. Okay, you didn't see it."
hey, look, it'll take 4 sessions just to get my money back. All right.
You know. Working. Oh, I did get a green light to tell that story, by the way.
So, what are you waiting on?
Okay, so she did say it was okay to tell it.
Is it dirty?
What's that?
Is it dirty?
I mean, you know, I'm going to gloss over some of the details, but you know, I mean, I can tell the basic story. And I did actually ask, and she was like, "Oh yeah, tell that story." It's like the highlight.
That sounds sarcastic, dude. I don't know.
No, she was like, "No, tell that story. That's like a good story." You know, so I don't even have to juice it. It's just the environment. So long story short, I was gone. I was out of the country for a little bit. I had come back. We hadn't seen each other in a while. You know, there's that built anticipation when, you know, you're definitely at the beginning of your relationship, and like, you know, you're texting all the time. You're trying anything, you know what I mean? You got that extra brand new, awesome hypeness to it. And so I got back into town, and I went to pick her up, and I picked her up in an old car that I have, and it's a gold Fairlane. And
Classic.
it was working at the time. Lately,
I should let you guys know, Joel has the classic in front of his house. And if you don't know what the classic is, it's from Sam Raimi's movies. He has the actual classic sitting out in front of his house. The car that is in all of Sam Raimi's movies.
Is it a Buick?
Yeah, it's a Buick, but his car is a Fairlane, right?
It's a 70 Fairlane. She's a beautiful car. Sadly, she's pretty much just holding the ground down in front of my house. Just need the change to get her running again. But
looks just like the classic from the movies, and that's how I know it's his house whenever I drive by it.
Yeah, I mean, I just tell people, hey, don't worry about the address. Just look for the car, and then they find it.
Language.
So I say, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to pick her up. I'm going to kind of surprise her. I'm going to pick up in the car and, you know, be extra kind of cool, because there's also another funny story with that car. Real quick, I tried to impress her low-key by once and picking her up in that car. And it's an automatic, but you can drop it, and basically you can tear wheels in it. You can shred some tire. So I totally did try to do that, and the car totally did not respond, and it basically just jerked a couple times and then did not. It was the most epic fail of attempting to show her how badass this car was. You don't understand, this never happens. It normally, everything works great. And she just laughed. So, turns out though, that kind of shit to the right person is actually endearing. Fucking up trying to impress you. So she thought it was pretty funny later. So the redeeming part about the car, so I picked her up in the car. We hadn't seen each other in a while. I was looking at her, she was looking at me, and basically I was like, pull over? And she was like, yeah. So we exited the freeway. I pulled off on Alabama and Redlands, and basically ended up behind the it's the spaghetti factory now, but it used to be something else that closed down, and it was an empty building for a while. So we're looking like, where do we go? So I said, this looks good. This is a dark parking lot. We pull behind the building of what is now the spaghetti factory. We're in this old car, and I'm not kidding. It starts to rain. This car has a bench seat in the front. It's raining. I'm going to gloss over the basic details, but how much more epic love story can it get than reigning in a classic car and having loco bench seat sex in the ring? Right?
That's pretty good.
It would have been nice if like her biological clock was ticking and like, you know, if you threw your suit in the mud or so, it was a total like, you know.
Um,
Can you hand me the thick Sharpie you have?
yeah, luckily that clock wasn't ticking. It didn't turn into a slew of children or anything. But I can't quite vocalize how cool it was. I can't really juice it for more. But like I said, just the idea of all the things culminating. Nobody bugged us. Cops never came. You know.
Yeah, I thought that's where the story was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Usually that's what happens. Yeah, your story
Right.
starts,
Yeah.
and then now you're fighting some sort of indecent exposure charge.
Well, I was thinking more like, you know, my cousin Vinny experience.
Yeah.
Like you.
No, I mean it all turned out well. It was a good time. Yeah,
Right on.
like I said, it was great. That's my story. I had to get clearance. I could have probably gone a little more into it, but that's good enough. That's good enough.
You're good. Yeah.
You know, a little bit of class, to it. But to bring up the saddest thing that's happened to automobiles is the elimination of the bench seat.
Hey, have you heard that Cake song, Stick Shifts and Safety Belts?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
That's the whole theme of the song is like cars aren't made for making out anymore.
Yep, and you can't bring
Yeah.
the girl next to you. You can't do anything. You can't just you know. It's that song is a wonderful song because it nails it perfectly on how sad it is that they got rid of that. I think the last car that had it was like the Lincoln Continental in like the '90s, late '90s maybe.
Right.
You used to be able to get one in a truck. You can't even get one in a truck. I think they're in like maybe the single cab. You know, I don't know.
I'm sure you can get one in a smart car.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you stopped my brain for a second. I started thinking about it. Then I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not getting one. So I'm not.
Well, in a smart car,
hey, also, bench seats are great too.
Because it's one chair.
Yeah.
Or one seat.
It's basically a desk chair in there. Yeah. Plus, a bench seat's great because if you need to take a nap anywhere where you're at, you just roll the window down, stick your legs out, and pass out. You know.
It's true. I had
I made a picture.
I had a Ford Ranger for a while, and it had a nice. It wasn't like a full bench, but it wasn't like it is now. Like you could lay across it. It was nice.
Yeah. It's just good. You know, I don't know if it's some sort of safety reason. I can't. I mean, you have a seatbelt. I can't see why it would matter. I don't know why. Yeah, there's no good legit reason to me, but why they'd get rid of it. But we can only hope.
My first car was a '69 Dart, and it had a nice bench seat in it.
Welcome to Forbidden Panels, Madness with Cupid, where our topic conversations are how to have proper sex in your vehicle. And what vehicle works best to do so? What better way to spend a romantic holiday than in the bench seat of a car? And if you don't believe us, ask your parents how you were born.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies.
Honestly, if you're 5 years old right now, you would concede that a drive-in.
There's a good chance. There's definitely a good chance. Definitely a good chance.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. You know, and again, I don't know what the actual percentage is of how many of us were actually planned. I mean, loose planning, like your parents met and they're like, hey, someday we'll have kids. That's not planning. That's not too far from, hey, sometime next month we want to go on a vacation. But no, you know, it's so all right. Let me go ahead and get started on this. I mean, we're not that far in. I mean, who else told a story? Did I miss some good stories?
We're all done with the stories.
You're all done with the stories?
Yeah, we're already done. It's already been an hour.
Shit.
Look at that, Justin. What are you doing?
Getting attacked by a camera.
It's a good angle of you, though. It's a good angle of you, though, bro. I have a better beard appreciation from that angle.
Right on.
And then he tilted it down, so now it's just your hand. So.
Okay, well then let's talk movies.
Okay.
He's made. Any favorite Valentine's Day type movies? Any love movies that you like? Be traditional, non-traditional, anything like that? Justin, we'll start with you.
Well, I already talked about Down with Love. That's a great one. Ewan McGregor, Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
That's like me and my wife's like Valentine's movie. Amelie is a good romantic movie that dudes will enjoy.
Yeah.
I love Amelie. Again, it's mostly because it's a pretty movie. I like looking at it.
It is a pretty movie. I remember when it actually back in there was a time when like it was kind of hard, and the only way you could watch it was to grab it on like a VHS.
Yeah.
There was a time when it wasn't. There was a weird gap when I don't know, like it wasn't on streaming. Am I
right? Yeah. Well, I've had the DVD since back in the day, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one. Dang, I don't know. Like I didn't watch a whole lot of rom-coms.
I'm going to say Hitchhiker's Guide. Actually, believe it or not, between the two of us is actually, I don't know. I mean, the whole point of the movie is, and the book. I don't know. Say the whole point of the book. The movie reduces the book a lot, but
which movie?
But essentially, I mean, that's kind of what it's about. Was love. That's the whole thing.
Joel.
What?
Which movie?
Okay, you're right. The newer one. And listen to the newer one.
It's a Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like the original BK serial.
Oh,
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Newer movie,
But the newer one. And I don't know. I think I would have to say any movie like that I think is, super love movie. They got to be funny too. If it's just straight, like you said, rom-com, it's got to be a rom-com. I think if it's just going to be a straight love story, a lot of the straight love stories that I think would be my favorite are the ones that are all tragic. So they are a great love story, but either one or everybody dies, or somebody goes to prison, Siberia, something terrible.
Like, oh, Sweeney Todd, such a beautiful love story.
The end of 30 Days of Night, I think that's actually a really beautiful, sad love ending. But when she holds him,
Bella and Evan.
Yeah, she just holds him as he burns and turns to ash, and like pretty sweet, pretty awesome. But again, also completely jacked.
Yeah, that is good.
There might even be some girls like, ew, like when he died, he got his ash all over me. It was gross. He couldn't
That's what lotion's for.
Yeah, he couldn't just go do that like somewhere else, but then like send me a text first that he loved me and then just do it on his own. No.
Favorite love story horror movie, like My Bloody Valentine, anything like that? Let's let Joey answer. Joey,
What?
You got a horror movie off Valentine's Day type film you like?
Well, no. I mean, I'm thinking about it. It was running in my mind. But before you got to horror, we had talked about it last week or whenever we did the podcast. But Wild at Heart by David Lynch is probably my favorite romantic movie. I find that
that's a good one.
it's like it's not a comedy, you know, and it might have some horror elements, I guess, but I find it to be super romantic. Also, you know, True Romance is probably one of the greatest romances.
That is a
of all
good
Oh
one.
yeah. I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
One
Yeah.
of the best Christian Slater movies ever.
What's that?
One of the best Christian Slater movies ever.
Oh yeah.
Probably say the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love
But in terms of horror movie, I don't know. It's always going to be something tragic, and I'm trying to think of what it would be. You know, like Nosferatu was pretty excuse me, pretty damn romantic.
That was. Yeah, well, yeah, if you like, you know, Coppola's Dracula.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's a great one.
That's super, like, yeah, it's very romantic.
Again, I'm trying, just like you say, to try to find one that doesn't have a tragic.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
The Fly. I love The Fly.
Exactly. I would consider that to be a darkly romantic movie. He loved her. They loved each other.
She did love him, but at some point, I'd say a girl has good reason to be like, "Yeah, I can't be with you, dude. Like, I'm pretty bad."
When your extremities start falling off, that's a conversation to have.
You know, they're saying love conquers all. No, it fucking doesn't.
No,
it
Language.
doesn't. Oh, but
it doesn't
conquer all. Okay.
Doesn't conquer you throwing up on the dude's hand and watching it dissolve.
No. Once a girl's face falls off and she's got extra appendages and she's crawling across the ceiling.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
How many appendages are we talking about here?
Hey, look, no plastic car bench seat love scene is enough points to make up for that. I just, it's not enough points.
Totally. No. When you're at the rotting phase, it's off the table.
When I look at the medicine cabinet, in the medicine cabinet should be medication.
Drop these.
Yeah, not loose parts that you've been keeping as some sort of weird collection.
So you're saying Vampire in Brooklyn was a good romantic story?
Yeah, there was.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I still mostly slap that whole movie in comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a movie I watched last night. It's totally off topic, but I wanted to share with everybody, and I think all of you will appreciate this film.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready, Justin?
I am.
Are you ready for this fantastic movie I watched last night? Okay, here it is, guys. The Cowboy Way.
The Cowboy Way?
Argue with me that that's not a great movie.
I haven't. Remind me.
I have not seen the movie.
Woody Harrelson, Kiefer
Sutherland, and they go to the city.
And they go to
I haven't thought about this movie since 1994, but I do remember enjoying it.
It is still fantastic, made in 1986.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I know I've seen it, but damn it, like I'm glad you said 86, because if the Cowboy Way.
I don't think I've ever even heard of it, dude.
Really? You need to watch it. It is a great movie. They're two rodeo buddies that grew up together.
Right.
Yeah.
And their friend Nacho is importing his daughter from Mexico, but Dylan McDermott, the asshole that he is, decides to charge more money. So Nacho goes out there, he gets killed, and they go out there to avenge their friend.
Yeah.
And Ernie Hudson is a street cop riding a horse and trying to be a cowboy with them.
Oh, okay. That was like the most 80s thing that I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was a pretty 80s description.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With a bunch of pretty 80s components.
Dylan McDermott.
Right.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Right.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, check.
When he had hair.
Yeah. Like Here's era.
Right. Dylan McDermott. Like he.
Ernie Hudson.
Right.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't thought about that movie in 30 years, but I do remember enjoying it. I felt like I had it on VHS
Yes.
off cable at some point.
It is an absolute VHS movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, speaking of which, went a couple weeks ago and saw Dragon Slayer in the theater.
Love it.
That was really awesome. And then earlier this week, yesterday, this Thursday. Thursday we saw Hellraiser in the theater.
Where'd you go to see that?
At my AMC. It was a Fathom thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fathom does some good showings, and they're like at AMCs and stuff, so they're easy to get to.
Yeah.
Like they did Raiders last year, and they did Lebowski.
Yeah, we saw Lebowski.
Yeah, you came up for Lebowski, yeah.
I was surprised at Hellraiser though, because I there's a lot of theaters, like there's two by us that will play classic movies, but they still kind of stay in a very safe realm.
Yeah. No, I was surprised too.
Yeah, they just showed the director's version of The Thing where they interviewed the cast and all that stuff, and they remastered everything.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, this one had an interview with Doug Bradley after it. It was an old interview. I'd seen it before, but it was still cool. But yeah, it was great. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. I never appreciated the camera work before seeing it in the theater. I had only ever seen it on TV.
Yeah.
And but some of the camera work in there is just amazing, and I never really noticed it before.
Yeah, I've never seen that one in the theater. I always wanted to.
I saw it projected. They were doing one of those small, like, my brain's not finding the words, but basically a cemetery viewing.
Oh, yeah.
They did the big one in LA.
Yeah.
Synestia does it in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I've been to that one, but this was like a rip-off idea at a much smaller one in Riverside. They played Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah, I go to Riverside and I see their signs for their cemetery showings.
Yeah. Which is really cool because 1 and 2, you remember, are really one movie. They just chopped it up and released it separately, and so it just flows so perfectly.
Yeah.
So I got to enjoy it on the big screen, but again, the quality is the best you're going to get on a projector outside. So it was still badass, but to see it properly released the way they really intended for you to see it, must have been good.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Did I not tell you guys my Army story about the theater that was out there?
I think so. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
So when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Fort Ord, which is out in Monterey, California. If you guys have ever been to Monterey, California, it is gorgeous out there. It's
it is.
Beach.
Yeah, I would love to live there, but our tax bracket is not that tax bracket.
Right. For a better idea of what it's like, if you've ever seen Star Trek 4, when they come to Earth and release the whales, well, that's where the whales are being kept, is in Monterey. So that's where the aquarium is. It's gorgeous out there. Anyway,
that aquarium's nice.
There was a movie theater out there. One day we were out there skateboarding, because that's what we do in the Army, is kill people and then go skateboarding drunk. In Monterey. And we came across this movie theater, and it was old school Gothic, like columns and gargoyles, the whole nine on the outside. And then you go inside, and it was the same, like the set-up auditorium style, with private booths on the side, going up multiple stories, and where you can have like the two old guys from the Muppets sitting on the side complaining. It was kind of like that. And when we went there, they were showing Dracula.
The Coppola Dracula or the OG?
Coppola, yeah. Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the following week, they were showing Frank Langella's Dracula.
Okay.
Such a good
Okay.
Such a good version.
So seeing those movies and with the gargoyles and the whole thing,
Right. Yeah.
was gorgeous out there. And then they started doing the horror movies. So I got to see Hellraisers, all the Hellraisers, the Aliens, all that stuff out there. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, whenever it was coming out. Anything between 91 and 93 that I could cram into all the horror movies up until that point.
Right.
That's what I was watching, where I was watching it at. And it was beautiful. It had that Last Action Hero style theater feel to it. And yeah, we love that place. We go there all the time.
That's awesome. It sounds rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it seems like they've been doing a lot of more repertory screenings, so I hope they keep it up.
Well, I think, I'm sure acquiring the rights to play old movies is probably dirt cheap. And
right.
For theaters, it's an excellent way to tap into some cheap cash. It's not much. It's like $5, $6, $7 to go see a movie. But like you were saying, there's so many movies that we love, and we've watched them a million times, but either due to age or just circumstance, you didn't get to see it in the theater.
Right.
I know we talked about when we did some of our other art, and but Jaws, I can still remember actually seeing it on the big screen because it came out right when I was born, basically. So it was a completely different movie. Just like I took I remember one time, girlfriend and I, we took some friends to go see Predator. They were like, "Yeah, we've seen it. It's no big deal." And I'm like, "No, you need to go see it on the big screen." They're like, "Yeah, well, how could it? I've seen it." After the movie, they said it's like we never saw it before until tonight.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terminator 2. We can go on and on and on. I will admit, Gone with the Wind is a good movie. It's okay. I do like it. It's okay. But when I saw it on the big screen, I think I got watery 7 or 8 times.
That's cool.
Which I was like, this is not okay. The Technicolor, I think half the time I was crying because the Technicolor was beautiful. I was like, oh my God, the blues are so blue. So, hey, I'm glad. I don't care. For whatever, as long as they're showing good stuff we want to see again. I don't care why.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know the feasibility of having it, but I mean, to be able to have a little theater like that where you could get do that. There's a little tiny old theater in Banning. I don't know if you guys know the area very well, but
yeah, Fox Theater is not. It's yeah.
The fact that it's still there and still hanging on is pretty awesome. See,
that's the place I went and saw Dragonslayer out at. Is called the Frida Cinema, and it's just a little 2-screen place in Santa Ana.
Yeah,
and they have one screen that shows a newer movie and one screen that shows an older movie.
Which is, again, to have to whatever it costs, if they don't own if they don't own the site and they're paying rent, to be in Santa Ana and trying to survive on 2 screens is pretty amazing.
But what's cool though is like that month they were having an event. Every week they were showing sword and sorcery movies. And so they made event T-shirts and sold those and did all kinds of stuff like that. And because there's 4 of us that went and we all bought a T-shirt. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that's the creativity. They have to have those other.
Yeah.
Well, and people are into it. People are into the old screenings. People are into getting limited merchandise. It's only available for a certain amount of time.
We were doing that when 10 years ago when I ran the Fox Theater here in Redlands, where we had classic movie nights and we would bring stuff in like that and watch it. And then we had Goodfellas there, and we had the actual mobster that Goodfellas was about, and we made a dinner theater out of it where people would come in, have dinner, pasta, and watch Goodfellas. And then we
Henry Hill. Is that Henry Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did an interview with Henry Hill, a Q&A afterwards at the theater. And then we did the same with Casablanca and a couple other films like that. And it was pretty good. A lot of people enjoyed it, but to get the licensing on those films, and then on top of that, you have to get insurance because those are the old school films that are still made on like the mercury
Right,
type
yeah.
of film canisters that can explode
Yeah.
and catch fire. So they come with insurances and stuff, and you have to have the right cameras and all that stuff. So it's kind of a pain and expensive, but everyone seemed to enjoy it when we were running it.
No, it's yeah. If you can see like an actual print of it, that is amazing.
And then we ran Hardware Wars one night on the original 55 millimeter, I think it was.
Yeah.
And,
Is that with the fucking? Excuse me, sorry. Is that with the toaster? Is Star Wars with the toaster and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We screened that at the theater Fox one time. That went off pretty good. So,
God, that's a deep memory.
and I always wanted to do something like that. I wanted to have a theater or something where I could run classic movies like that, geek movies, stuff that we would appreciate.
I just don't know where. I don't know, like when you're paying for, you're getting people to pay for tickets and stuff like that, how closely movie companies are trying to hunt down folks that are doing viewings for money without paying them. I don't know. I don't know how hardcore that goes. I mean, if when the Krikorian the Krikorian's gone. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but the big stuff like Harkins, if Harkins does it, clearly they've got they're paying.
License, yeah.
But like a little singular theater, it's kind of like getting away with drawing.
Well, it depends on the print and how old it is.
It depends on what it is, and also like if you own a print, I think you have the right to show it. I don't know that with older cinemas, I think that you can. They don't need to get permission from the studios if they own a print, or if someone owns a print and they want to do a showing of it.
Okay.
But I'm no lawyer. I don't know about that, but I do know that a lot of small cinemas, they used to get, prints would be in circulation by the owners. They would go on tours, and they would just show them when they came around.
Well, I know that Eddie Murphy, and I know Kevin Smith does it too. Kevin Smith goes on tour to all these little theater places, and he takes the film with him.
Yeah.
And like he'll go and do like his new Clerks, the new Clerks movie he's getting ready to release. He'll go on tour and take the Clerks movie with him and show them. Mm. But you just gotta for that you gotta guarantee ticket prices and percentages and all that stuff. Of which I have $1. So if we can get somebody in here for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
No, I'd buy that for $1. Oh, yeah. If you even removed RoboCop from the whole film, there's still enough good crap in there to
enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, I obviously love RoboCop, but I'm just saying
it's not the only thing that makes that movie great.
No, the satire. Yeah.
Is anybody else afraid to go to Detroit for a while?
No joke.
I mean, and I guess that's what's crazy is that they knew everybody. They chose Detroit as the place that it was supposed to happen, but they didn't film it in Detroit. But they knew everybody knows Detroit's jacked, so they're like, "Hey, as long as we say it's Detroit, the fear's there."
We're just not going to film it in Detroit because we don't want to get fucked. Messed with.
Oh yeah. So but the satire. I mean, yeah, so good. Yeah. Although I would say though, if I actually could have gotten the car security system that does actually shock the person, like just fries him out who tried to steal my car.
I've always wanted that, even before the movie.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm okay with paying the money to put the new seat in. My new driver's seat. I might not ever get the smell out of the car, but you know what? I think it's still worth it.
Hey,
there are worse problems.
It's for a peace of mind.
The car.
Yeah.
You're just paying for that peace of mind. That's all that matters. By the way, Joel, I opened up another box of Blockies.
Oh, bro, I've looked at a ton of them and I stare at them and I've got like the whole collection in my Amazon little box there, but I don't know, man. I just don't know that I can start a whole new thing. I really do like them though. There's pretty much not one I didn't think is cool. But
what are these things?
Blockies. You haven't seen my unboxing videos lately, have you? So they're about 6 inches tall. And they're little model kits, like the Gundams and stuff, but they don't take glue or anything. They snap and pop together.
Okay.
And here, I'll give me a second. I will show you one.
And I will say that when you say model, I think.
Yeah, like when you say model, what is it like?
Well, also once they're together, they, for all intents and purposes, are the quality and as good as any action figure you would buy. If I gave you one already put together, you would think that that's how it came.
Okay.
Versus like a lot of models, which I've made.
Here, I'm gonna do this.
They're cool and they go together, but they move, but they're still delicate. Now these guys actually seem to go together in a way that you really could give this to a child, and even if the arm popped off, you just pop it on again. Like big ball joint.
It's pretty complicated. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Yeah, and they're fully articulated.
Once they're put together.
Yeah, once they're put together, everything's about them is awesome. They have
Interesting
weapons. The only thing they don't do is transform.
They don't.
Which is why I was against them to begin with. Why get Transformers that don't transform, right?
But again, you remember there's the characters we love in the old cartoons, like the way they stylistically look, like weren't even remotely. You can't get that look and make it transform.
Right. Yeah.
So what I've done is there's 9 of them in a box, and I've gotten 6 boxes so far.
Wow. How many in the series total are there?
There is 7 boxes in the series, and a new one just came out.
Wait, 7 different figures?
No,
How
7
many
different
different figures. How many different figures in this whole thing are there?
I don't know.
Well, there's how many they have now, and if they're doing it like everybody else that gets the licensing, I mean, you can produce versions and characters from that universe for all eternity. I don't know how long they're gonna.
And they also came out with hold on, I got another one to show you that I have yet to unbox. And that is this version. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, dang.
But these ones are their 10-inch versions, and a lot more complicated in the as far as the snapping and stuff. But they don't take any glue.
That's really cool.
And like this is $10.
Really?
What?
Yeah, they're not pricey. I think AJ sent me a link once. I think there was like 6 of them on sale for like $35 in a box.
Okay.
And I was just too broke that day to get it, but I mean the deal is pretty good. I mean, if it is something you wanted to collect, that there's not a lot of money and you don't have a lot of space because they're small, you could probably rack the entire collection that exists. I mean, AJ's working pretty hard on having the whole thing, and you could get them all on one 2.5 foot by 10-inch shelf if you really wanted to. Like they'd be packed like an LA subway. You know, there's no subways in LA, New York. Sorry.
How dare you? We totally have subways.
We do, but they're like not as much as underground.
No.
You know.
No, they're not great, but they're building that. They're expanding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My little adorable Optimus.
They've got a lot of high drawability as far as like I've wanted to draw them because they're pretty cartoony and they're nice and blocky, and I think they'd be fun to draw if.
And they're fairly detailed, and again, posables. Hell.
Yeah.
And
Which
they're great for diorama.
Go ahead. Transformers are something I normally don't draw a lot, mainly because it's intimidating. The respect I have for like the hardcore artists that have been doing the comic books for years, where they're really getting down on the technical aspect. The amount of notching and lines and
totally.
It's a lot of line work, man.
I am scared to death to try and draw a Transformer.
Yeah, the perspective is crazy because
I
you've
was
got
going to say too many objects in perspective, too many perspective lines, even
Yeah.
thing in motion.
yeah, and they're moving.
I'm
Like
not feeling it.
it's like you trying to draw Escher stuff over and over and over, but with fighting and people, and So my hat's off to them. The fact that they can even finish one 12-page book is amazing, but to keep this going on a regular
Yeah,
basis.
and to do that with like multiple characters in a panel.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's
That's
basically a group book. 12
I mean,
characters
God bless those
plus.
people because I could not handle
No.
that in a million years.
So if you're a current artist, and I'm going to just call him out, if you're just doing like Spider-Man right now, I know you're working and you might be great, but just shed a tear for the people over 2 floors down who are doing the Transformers stuff, who are just, I'm sorry, but you have to probably be obsessive compulsive to be those artists. That's it. Any regular artist would have like failed out. They're like, yeah, dude, I'm done. You want a different comic? No, I'm done. I'm never going to draw again. Like, I'm done.
It's one of those things where like you had to come up like a mangaka or something where you do like that's like they get that level of detail with the line work.
Yeah.
It's a discipline to get down like that.
Yeah.
Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about, of what you guys are saying. Give me 1 second here. Boom, boom. Here we go.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't have
time for that.
Yeah, that's
You guys remember in Firestarter when she would use her powers, she would get the nosebleed?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never finish art because there'd be drops of blood coming out of my nose all over the art. Every time I'm like, damn it. Because like I could do the drawing, but the amount of like pain that it would cause my body to do it.
Totally.
Just use the blood as ink, man. At that point,
you would have to chain me to my chair, and I might do that, and it would take me days still, and it would still suck.
Yeah.
no, I can just imagine at that point you're like, here, take this, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Do you want to play a game? Draw the Transformer in 12 hours or die. Like,
Exactly.
I'm probably just gonna doodle some silly shit and just let you come.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be like, just kill me, dude. I'm not drawing.
Not gonna happen.
Draw that.
Yeah, I pull out a cartoony version of Bumblebee, and I'm like, and they're like,
I'm all about believing in myself, but yeah.
yeah,
At that point, it's like the opposite of kids. You're like, I have no hands.
yeah.
I have no hands.
Like I said, just as a joke, I'll try to draw Bumblebee as a bug, as a beetle, and be like, does this cut it? And they're like, this does not satisfy the game. And but
Your art is weak.
yeah.
Yeah. It just takes a whole different discipline,
That's a lot of geometry, man.
That's exactly it, AJ.
Yeah.
It is a whole lot of geometry.
And people don't know what you go through to draw, but they can tell when things are wrong. I mean, they if it doesn't look right, people are gonna know it's not right. They don't know why.
Right.
But
What has been the most difficult thing for you to draw, Joey?
I don't know. I mean, for work purposes, I had to spend a lot of time drawing like other people's styles for a long time, and that was always really difficult.
Yeah.
Because
It's essentially it's not your style. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, and sometimes it would be vastly apart from my style. You got to look at it, and you just got to keep trying it, and that was always really difficult to do. But you kind of get used to it. People have through lines, stylistic through lines, and you just kind of start picking up on that stuff too after a while. I think the hardest thing to draw is something is a book over a long period of time, and to get just to move through it. That's the hardest thing to draw. You can draw a one-up here and there, but to just stick to it and draw, that's the beast. And I think that's the harder than any kind of technical drawing I've ever done. Technical stuff, like you have a reference, you know, and you get your ruler out and you line it up, but consistency.
To kill that character in every direction.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly too, is to take the same character and move it around and twist it and this and that. It's
Now picture that character as a robot and draw that over and over again.
exactly with an immense
Get back
amount
to
of
right what we were
detail.
talking about.
No, that's why you get like the classics are the least amount of detail, because you know in your character design, because you don't want to be drawing it over and over and over again. You know, you get those Alex Toths with the simplicity. You know, it's such a night and day compared to those Transformers. But those dudes are drawing those on a panel basis.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, say what you will for Jim Lee, but he kicks that stuff out fast because he's been doing it for decades. He draws Batman for decades.
He really knows his forms. You watch him draw live and stuff, like he knows the shape of people and such. You know, it's one of those things that he's practiced.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't want to. I mean, there are people definitely with amazing talent, but I will say, you know, I always want to throw out there, like even for us doing what we're doing, and when you were doing for work, if you're putting in 50 hours a week, and you're really honing, you know, your craft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there's things you could do that even right at this current moment you maybe wouldn't think you could do, but I think. But yeah, doing it every day, honing every little mistake, you're getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better. You do it all the time.
Full time, I mean, you would just advance like insanely.
That's why when you do something over a large time, it's both challenging and satisfying. Because when you get to the end, you are not the person you started as, and you're probably way better than you think you are.
You're way better, but also could be. I think. There's that fear I would have that it would pull some of the enjoyment by the end out of what you're doing because you've had to work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had that, so I don't know. I mean, I'd say, give me a job and let me try to do this until I hate it. I'll go ahead and.
Yeah, there's a difference between being mad at it and being burnt out on it.
Yeah. I think it's probably a lot harder.
You don't want to get to that point where you're just like, I cannot draw another freaking, you know, this character ever again. I never want to draw another Cupid again, you know. That's why I'm like, I don't ever want to see another zombie again.
I mean, when you mentioned earlier, like when you're having to do other people's styles, I think, you know, that was depending on you. If you're an artist that you're getting paid great money to draw whatever it is that you want to draw and your own stuff, that may be a very different grueling situation, probably not grueling at all, versus if, again, you're being constantly given tasks and you just need to fulfill the art that other people are demanding from you.
Mm-hmm. But that stuff, you know, that's like it's the thing that makes you stronger. It makes you stronger too, though, you know, like being challenged with things outside your comfort zone always makes you have to look at things differently. And that's always valuable, I think, as an artist.
Which that's where, you know, one situation could seem unbearable to one artist and to another be like, hey, I'm down with that type of challenge because that actually keeps you, you know, hey, if you're lucky to have all of those options in your life and above and get to try them. There was an old Disney artist, and I feel bad for not remembering his name, but he used to sell art in a little art shop up in Idlewild. And I only talked to the lady that sold his stuff because it was a ton of other artists who just had stuff in there. He did a lot of the background art.
Oh, yeah. That stuff's gorgeous. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And she just basically, you know, I said, well, does he ever come by? And she's like, no, he does not come by. He does not want to talk to you. He doesn't want to see anybody. He was in his 90s at the time, so I'm sure he's gone now. But I did ask her, I said, but does he still produce? Like, oh, you should see. I go over to his house to pick up new stuff, and it's hard to get one away from him because he still works. She said, if you understood the amount of things that he's still making in his home, sees nobody, talks to nobody about it, it's just his own personal enjoyment. She showed me she got pictures on her phone of them. That was the best she could get out of him. And just the pictures from like 3 feet away blew my mind. And again, that was personally just for him. He had made his money. He was a recluse, and he was still producing epic art for just himself.
Yeah, because of the love of craft, you know, at some point it has to be about that too. You know, that's what started you. It's probably what's going to end you in it too.
Yeah.
Well, Joey, without mentioning the name of the book, tell me about the love of the book that you're working on. Isn't that what's keeping you focused, hyper focused on it right now? Is that?
Oh, the book. I mean, I don't have to talk. I can talk about it. I can tell you the name or whatever. It doesn't bother me. Because I'm working on the sequel to the book, A Man Called Kraken, that I co-created with Sean Belcher.
Okay.
This is a sequel that I wrote and I'm working on, and this is entirely about my love of the craft. Like, I reconnected with comics a lot, really hard a few years ago, and the craft of making them through some things. And this is really like, I just wanted to get as down and deep in it, in all of it as I could, just because, you know, I love it and I wanted to see what that was like to just kind of do all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been great.
That's awesome.
it's brutal.
Does it help reignite your love for it, and like the more you do it, the more love you find for it?
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing, is like the longer it's gone, the more I've reconnected and I've gotten back. And now that I'm doing it every day, you know, like, you just kind of, I don't know, you get down in it. You're all about it.
Well, I mean, I hope it's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be a good experience for you either way. But I hope that people really also embrace it and want it, because maybe it's just me. I don't know if you guys say yeah or nay on it, but there's the art and there's the story and there's the things you get from the stories that you've read. But those tidbits about the artist and what they did, where they were in their life when they did all these little things, the personal aspect makes some of those so much more rich. So your story is specifically about that. So
yeah, and I'm going to try and share when I go to release this. When I inevitably start releasing this, I'm going to do it as a web comic, and I'm going to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, because I feel like you kind of need to. People like to have a connection, and I want to have a connection.
Yeah.
This is all about like love of the form and comics and such, and like, yeah, I'm such a non, you know, communicative person. This is one of those times I want to try and reach out, and like let people into the process, because I'm having a great time with the process.
Dude, I love process stuff, dude. When you see like bonus footage and just about the process of making art, great.
Yeah, I do too. I love seeing it. I've recorded a ton of it now. I have to edit it. I have to edit so much of it, you know, still. But that's another thing that I love to do, is edit, work with media and such. So that's another thing that I'm leaning into on this.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of Joey's artwork, shall we?
Oh God. Yeah. Do you have anything current? I don't think you have anything current.
No, I'm just showing the old book. You went mute again. I love the colors and the action, and
you pulled that right out of my mouth. It's funny that you say that. Like
everything.
I will color is something I've always battled with, and I was very often just pen and ink, and so when I see people who are rocking beautiful color, that's the only reason it's helped me to push to do more color. On the computer, doing digital art, color wasn't a problem for me, because I'll be honest with you, the computer makes it so easy to do. But no, when I say so easy, just mean to be able to reverse, and when you're adding color in like a permanent piece, But yeah, those are fabulous.
No, yeah, it's easier because you can erase stuff easier. Yeah, for sure.
Joey, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Yeah, you commit to a color on an actual piece of paper like we're doing right now. That's where you're at. So I mean, it's but yeah, color pops, looks awesome. Everything flows really well. That's that other real task I'm sure you can talk about, trying to create motion to get people to move from panel to panel, you know, at the speed you want, seeing
Yeah,
everything.
Joey, you're muted.
Yeah, you there? Back?
He can hear you. He just can't talk.
Oh, okay. Like there's been plenty of times I've been reading a comic. Oh,
There he
you
is.
go.
There he is.
I've been reading comics that I really love. The art scribbling is fabulous. There's definitely been times when I have flipped a page and they're trying to do something creative with the paneling, but I actually didn't read it right in the right order they wanted me to, because I couldn't fully understand what order they were wanting me to read. You know? Am I?
Yeah, I used to have that problem with Powers. Sometimes Powers was hard to read because there's so, dude, sometimes there'd be like 32 panels on a page of just people talking.
I love Powers and the way that they're laid out.
Oh, me too. But you have to get used to reading Powers.
Yeah.
When you first start reading Powers, you can't read it like a normal book.
You got to throw out your traditional left to right.
Right, yeah. Because there'll be a 2-page spread and there's like 32 panels on each page. You're like, oh, am I going this page or am I going all the way across? Yeah, so. No,
I'm really obnoxious about my left rights. Like the left right thing, I'm super obnoxious about it. And I have like I have a grid that I use to kind of map it out. Because they have to like land. The things have to land, and then the spreads have to land at a certain place. And
right.
I don't know. My phone died, which was recording the drawing.
Oh.
Whenever I'm writing, I like to because I can't write script. I'm just horrible at it. So I like to sit down. Like I'll sit down with Justin when we're writing, and I'll write everything out. But then I'll storyboard with Justin. We'll both storyboard it out. That way we can get the camera angles right and the layout of the panels right and the page right, the way we like it. Then I don't have to describe it as much or try to describe the weird angles I'm trying to get it at, you know. Or I'll pose some action figures in the way that I'm trying to get it, and I'll take pictures and give it to him as a point of reference or something.
Yeah, you gotta get it out first before you see it, just to see how, you know, if it's right or not. Again, like sometimes you don't know until you see it.
Yeah.
It's good to map that stuff out, and you know, it's a book form, so you got to make sure that before you set it to print that it matches too. You know, when I did the first Kraken book, I suck. And when I went to do the physical printing, it basically needed an extra page to get the spreads to work right because I didn't understand this stuff when I made it. I sucked. And I had to design an entirely new page out of nowhere just to satisfy the left rights.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot more work into it than you would think when it comes to comic book things. A lot of times you don't get to see it on camera or on these live draws because the artist and the writer are normally the same person, especially on these types of live streams and drawings. You get guys like Joey and Joel and Justin who have their own characters in their heads and have the talent to be able to create and do things from their minds. However, you rarely get to see an artist work from a script or work based off somebody else's ideas in that manner.
Yeah.
And so taking that into account when you're working on a comic book can add to your timeline, can add to your stress level, can add to your point of view as to where the art is coming from, or where even sometimes a light source can come from.
Trying to do the whole thing I respect it. I think it's like trying to sing and play the guitar at the same time and be badass at both at the same time. And that's where people who do both and still manage to pump out product at any sort of reasonable time is crazy respectable. I'm not a writer. I could have fun thinking of concepts with people and doing stuff like that. And, but again, like AJ, when you write something, I try my best, if we're going to work on something to try to get the art out of it. But to have created both, no, like you said, time. Because you're saying, well, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? 50% on my writing and the 50% on the art, which means you're still each one's only getting 50% of your time and effort.
Well, then most of the times you guys are you're drawing and writing as you're drawing.
Oh man, I do Marvel style like you wouldn't believe.
You're just like, and then this guy's like, bam, over here. This guy,
Yeah.
Bam, this guy, and then love story. This guy,
Yeah.
And so
All
that adds to, in my opinion, I wish I could do that because we'd have so many books put out by now. But I can't. That's the forbidden panel story, right? is wishing I had the talent and skills that you guys could do, where you could work in art at the same time. But
All right.
I mean, I'm envious of you guys in that manner. I wish I could do that.
Well,
writing's not comfortable for me. I enjoy it sometimes when I have something to get out, but often it's a wrestling match. But sometimes you just don't. You need something. I needed something to write. I need something to draw. So I wrote something, and I made it the loosest of terms. I was like, this is more about the art than it is about the story. But then as you're drawing it, luckily, you get to like spend time with your characters, and it starts to like ruminate in your brain, and you can sort of extrapolate out from there.
Yeah. So earlier I'd said the 100 people or 5 people or 3 people who come together and get something done. If it is one person or 10, there's that final thing. Hey, if you do it yourself, you have the whole brunt of it on yourself. If you do it with other people, then you also have to probably learn to let go of some of what you want, only because you got to allow these people to help you.
Well, on top of that, you also have to learn to work on schedules.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if Justin needs 3 more written pages off of me and is waiting on me and he can't draw anything else until I get my pages written, then, he's stalled. And then I write those pages, he draws them up, and then we're waiting on an inker or colors or anything like that. I think if we're in a roundtable environment like we are now almost, it would be awesome. Like I could write something, give it over to Justin, he can draw it up real quick, and then we send it over to somebody else who can ink and color, and boom, we're all done.
Yeah, well, that's how, basically what 24-hour day was.
Right. But that's how comic studios do it, except digitally and in a more mass produced way.
But I still like to picture the boardroom, big table, dry erase boards everywhere, things taped up, and the crew just in there talking and working it out together. I pictured that kind of what I've seen. I'm sure you've seen plenty of video of studios that they've got the room and they do that in there, and that just looks so fun to me to have.
Right. I would love to have that kind of a creative space with everybody, but we've all got our own ideas.
Well, and then they have an office, so they meet in the boardroom, they do all the stuff they need to do, and then they all separate off to their little office and work on their little pieces, and then if they need to, they come back.
Right.
Because they have that command center, versus, us, we're in our homes, we don't have a.
And that was the clubhouse.
Yeah. Kind of. That's the same basic thing, yeah.
Eventually, when I hit the lottery, we'll have that spot.
Then I'll also have a custom D&D room.
Right.
It looks like a tavern, and
and I'll have my harem. And by harem, I mean a room full of Transformers and a 6-foot table with a spotlight on it. A beanbag chair.
Yeah.
And Joey's dead. We've killed Joey, everybody. Can you show us how far you've come along, Joel?
But first, I got to figure out what Joey was working on so much to have us have killed him now.
Well, you know, he's got to die sometimes. How he is, his gypsy lifestyle. He'll die and resurrect in a little bit.
Oh no, that's what I got.
Nice.
I gave him some hair and eye patch. I'm kind of working on just making this grimy. Wasn't exactly what I originally intended, but throwing it together as good as I can.
He's going to love you.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, artist people. What do you think it's easier to draw? Human hands and feet or robotic hands and feet?
Oh, human. Yeah, hands are so hard to draw, trying to get that perspective right for a robot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be a nightmare.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because human hands, you can fudge them and get funky with it and still make them look good. But I mean, robot hands, they gotta be all perspective and yeah, that would be rough.
I'd have to say if you can't, I think also if you don't have a good handle over human hands, your robot hands are not going to work.
No.
Unless you're doing something where it's like a robot hand with just like a thumb and two fingers or some sort of other exaggerated non-natural hand.
Right.
But
like Bender's hand.
Yeah, like Bender, that totally works. Yeah. But if you're trying to have like the delicate perfection of like a female robot that's still very much metal and doesn't have skin, but still has the delicateness of that robot hand, but a woman, but a robot, that's going to take some perfection. It's got to look just right.
Yeah.
So we were discussing whether or not what's harder to draw, a human hand or a robot hand.
What's easier to draw?
Yeah.
I guess a robot hand. You do whatever the hell you want.
Well, we're talking about if you're trying to make it look work like a human hand.
Well, no, that's. I mean, hold on.
That's better. I don't know. I think the human hand's harder to get right. Everyone knows what it looks like, and they know when it's wrong.
So you think with a robot hand, you have more artistic creation with it, more creativity?
Yeah. I mean, get it to look. If you're trying to get it to look like realistic, that's very difficult. We're back to geometry again.
Yeah. We keep coming back to drawing Transformers.
Yeah. But I think that I think drawing human hands is way harder than robot hands. I don't know.
They think the opposite. They think it's harder to draw robot hands than human.
Well, see, in my head, I was picturing realistic, working robot hands.
Yeah, like if you're trying to draw like a CAD program, or some kind of that is very difficult.
If you're doing a Transformer hand, or versus a lot of anime have the Japanese have nailed the art of drawing robot women, where they still look.
That's what I'm saying. Is it like Akira hands? Is it like what was the cop one? What's the cop one we all like?
The cop one?
Yeah, the one that they remade with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the
Shell. Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, do the hands like that where they'll all break into 50 billion different other appendages.
But at the same time, when it was just her, she looked perfectly. Yeah, I don't know how they. I don't know. I have the most trouble, honestly, with nailing women's hands. Women's hands are hard because they're either right or they're wrong.
I have another question I've been thinking about. I got into a discussion with some of the Starlight Digest guys on their podcast last week. I was just in the audience and stuff, and a lot of them seem to think in one way, and I seem to feel another way. And so I want to ask your guys' opinions on it. Do you think the snap in the Avengers, do you think that he had to snap, or do you think it was a symbolic gesture?
Okay,
I
just
believe he had
remind
all
me.
the stones, and he could have made anything happen with just a thought, and that the snap was just a symbolic gesture. But there are people out there that think that he had to snap the finger, and that's the only way to make the power happen.
They think it's
What
like a
your opinion?
what is it? A somatic gesture in D&D? Like you gotta
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
the sign.
Yeah.
I don't know, because Tony Stark had to do it too.
Yeah.
I
But-
think it could
But it's
probably
only
be.
because he had to do it because he saw Thanos do it. And maybe in his head he thought and associated it.
Yeah,
with
I
Yeah,
think it's more of a symbolic
logical.
thing. Like it's the end of an intention, like the end of a spell or the end of
Right.
you probably, it could be anything. You could have stomped your foot or sang a little ditty, but it needed to have like a
You needed a component to make it happen.
yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's not as theatrically in film or on the page. If the character's just thinking and things are happening, if you're doing that, then you have to go with that. But I mean, I'm just saying, like Magneto can lift metal stuff and he could just do it with his mind, but you still usually typically see him tilt his head, move a hand.
Or yeah.
Totally.
You know, there's
Yeah,
still
like Professor X putting his hand to his head. He doesn't like really have to do that to
Right.
Because it
so
would
let's
be
see.
boring if they just stared at each other and then
Yeah,
things happened.
That's the point. The point I'm trying to make is he kept making it a big deal. Everyone in the movie kept making a big deal over the fact, like, why didn't you chop off his hand? And
No, it's not about that.
Oh, right.
my point is they didn't. The hand was unnecessary. He could have thought about snapping his fingers. And
Yeah, it could have been a wink. The wink.
Yeah.
Could have been
Yeah.
the
So I'm just throwing it out there as a
Yeah,
point
yeah.
of discussion.
No, I get that. Yeah.
well,
I
then
think
you
No,
I
there's
think it's
nothing
like
in
one
the
with magic.
there's nothing in the Gauntlet's lore or of the Soul Stones lore that you have to snap your fingers. Like it's just
Right. He had the mind
it's-
stone. He can make things happen.
it's your will. It's your will, but
Right.
that's visibly boring.
But yeah, I'm going to take the snap. However, I'm going to take it because it provides that. Again, there's the storytelling to tell the story, and there's the other things in there that are purely artistic ways to express it.
Right.
And that's where we let a lot of things slide. In stories we know, like, hey, if you're looking for a movie that's supposed to be 100% realism, and you're watching you're watching a movie that's supposed to be based on an actual military event that happened. No, I need it to be right. Like, I don't want to see anybody running by with a gun that wasn't even in existence yet, or something like that. But if you're just trying to tell a story, and I don't necessarily need 100% every absolute perfect reality. If the way you're going to do it's going to demonstrate to me what I want, what I want out of it better.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
That's where fantasy is where I'm at. Fantasy gives you that room to have that. Again, Thanos, it would have been just like daytime American soap operas, but with no sound. If like there was no snap and no anything else, it's just scenes of two people standing there looking at each other.
Yeah. There would have been no dramatics, but it didn't need to be anything. Like the snap is just a dramatic,
Right, it's just a
dramatic
symbolic
choice.
gesture. It's just like
Yeah.
a kata. You do a kata to put your mind into that state. Because those movements remind you that this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's like a script.
Yeah.
The snap of your hand tells your brain this is what it's activating, and thus causes your brain to activate that part.
Let me use the opposite. Yeah, so like there's Doc Manhattan. Whenever he's doing something, he appears to be doing nothing, but the action, the motion of whatever he's dismantling, changing, whatever he's doing, there's so much chaos with what he's doing that you don't need him to move.
Exactly.
But that's
He's
because there's
moving,
so much.
He's in the other room having sex with Scarlet. What's her face?
Exactly. The actual him is doing, very little movement, but whatever he's doing in the other room, like you said, all of the other hymns, the hands everywhere.
Right.
He's making
is split everywhere. Like he can be in the now at the same time. His presence is in multiple timelines while he's here. So why can't Thanos be doing the same thing?
Maybe the mechanism of each of those characters is still just too different, because Doc Manhattan would never wield a weapon. Thanos has held weapons, does do some physical fighting, but Doc Manhattan's not going to punch you.
The thing is, Thanos isn't all powerful like Dr. Manhattan is until he has all the stones.
Yeah.
Once he has all the stones, he needs no weapons.
He didn't need it at that point, but again, Manhattan's so far past. I was just trying to use, the demonstration of two characters and what the physicality that they would need.
Why is it always blue people that get all the powers? Damn Navi.
I don't know. I mean, Captain Kirk seemed to search out the blue characters. They always seem to be a lot of fun.
Jeffrey Combs, that was awesome. Andorians.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Combs rules.
Yep. And on that note, I'm going to go potty. Please continue on the show, Justin. And by continuing on the show, Justin, I mean talk to people.
Oh man, I gotta talk.
It's not enough that we have to draw. We have to talk to. Come on.
I know.
It is a live draw.
Well, I didn't say it was a talk live, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm talking. You see anything good lately, Joey?
No. I mean, I'm trying to think. Other than Wild at Heart, I haven't been to the theater in a couple weeks.
Yeah, same thing here. I went to Hellraiser, but that was about it.
No, I haven't. Now that I think about it.
What about you, man? You see anything good lately?
So I went to a movie blind the other day and didn't know anything about it at all.
That's a rare thing.
Yeah, I didn't know anything, but I was like, hey, you guys you choose. And so we went and saw The Companion.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I've been curious about that.
Yeah, I just listened to an interview with the director the other day.
But see, here's the thing. I really enjoyed the fact that I knew nothing about it, so I'm really going to try to be real limited about what I say, because I don't want you. I got to walk into it. All I saw was the picture, or basically the poster image. So I saw the girl, and I had to make my own, I had my own idea of roughly what might be going on here, but I got to walk into it blind. So I think you guys should watch it. And then maybe we can have the next time we draw, we can talk about it, because I don't really want to say more about it. I just say I did enjoy it, but I don't want to say more than that, because I want you to be able to walk into it. No preconceived.
Okay. All right.
Right on.
Do you need to run to theaters? No, I think you can wait till it's streamable. It was cool to watch, but there's no reason you need to see it on a large format screen. It's not necessarily that. The camera angles are good. The shooting is good. It's good. It's good. It's pretty to look at, but I think you're gonna enjoy it just fine on your TV.
Right on.
What are we talking about?
The Companion.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I just listened to an interview with the director on a podcast.
What was he saying? We can talk about that as long as there's no giveaways, right?
No, he was just cool. This was his first movie. He's worked on a few, written a few other things. I can't remember right now. But anyway, he said he's in his mid 40s, but he said this is his first movie and it all just happened by luck.
Okay.
He just happened to get the script into the hands of the guy that did Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
And he loved the script and said, I want to produce it and direct it. And at the last minute, he had to drop out of the directing. And so the guy that wrote it thought he was going to lose the whole deal, because, one of the things that got him the money was this guy was going to direct it.
Okay.
And So the director fell through, but that guy was still producing it. And he's like, well, I talked to all the other producers and they think that you could direct this. And he's like, what? And they're like, yeah, they want to keep their money and they want you to direct it. So that's how he got to direct his first movie. So it sounds pretty awesome.
I used to write for Blue Mountain State.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. He's done a few things that I can't remember now, but I was like, when I heard, I was like, oh, he did that.
Suburgatory, My Dead Ex, Mr.
I will.
Pickles.
I don't care. Grab any of them. I'll pay you back.
The Mountain Super Ninjas.
Yeah, it was a cool story, so it made me like eager to see the movie.
Doing
He
good.
directed
Thank you.
a couple of things like Tenacious D.
I'll take that.
Yeah, he's done like some TV stuff for sure, and like
There's-
videos and stuff.
I'll take all three. All right, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Anything you think is fabulous.
Justin brought Mike and Ike's,
Hell yeah, I do.
and I've opened them
Yeah, we
and I'm
got-
eating them.
I always bring Mike and Ike. They're my favorite. You know what I discovered a few years ago at the movie theater is that Mike and Ike's and popcorn at the same time are fabulous.
Never done that, but I'll try it.
Interesting.
It's a good mix.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you can get the Mike and Ike's to pull the kernels out of your teeth.
That is a bonus.
Yeah.
I don't know though. All that goodness still stuck in your teeth between the combination of the popcorn and the butteriness and it's still stuck. I mean, you could enjoy that for hours. You know?
Yeah, I discovered that accidentally because I was eating Mike and Ike's and just finished them and then ate some popcorn. I was like, oh wait, these go really good together.
Look, Joel, I did art.
Oh, I'm digging some perspective here. I'm liking that. I'm liking the shadow action. You gonna tell me more about it, or how'd you end up drawing that specifically?
Examples of what we're going to be doing for the next comic book that Justin and I are working. The style, noir style.
Which I always love that style.
Yep.
I don't care what story you want to retell. If you want to retell it in that style, I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I love a lot of cartoons we love. They always did it. There's always an episode,
Right.
you know, where you got. I mean, SpongeBob was definitely the detective. I know there was an episode where they were messing with that. Everybody's done it because it's good fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure. Like the Batman animated series is what
Yeah.
did it for me, man. I was just like, oh,
Yep.
this just rules.
Talking about pulling off, you're saying like being a little more minimal about the art, but man, how perfect is the form in all of those.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the art, and for Transformers, with very limited detail, but everything is just perfectly clean and
Yeah.
Well, we can go back to you had mentioned SpongeBob.
Mhm.
Has anybody heard the band Boy What?
I haven't.
Oh my God. Everybody needs to hear this band. I love them. I can't say enough great things about them. It's one guy.
One guy. Okay.
One guy. And he writes all these like cool metal songs as characters from SpongeBob.
Oh, okay. All right. I can.
And he performs them as characters from SpongeBob. So imagine SpongeBob singing death metal.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Awesome. It's so awesome. And the videos are awesome. Everything's awesome. He uses a voice modulator so he can change all his voice. It sounds like Patrick,
Oh.
SpongeBob.
That's a pretty tough accomplishment to do all of those voices.
And it's phenomenal. I cannot recommend this band enough. Boy What, BOI. What?
Okay.
What? Okay.
Boy.
And the art that accompanies it is very reminiscent of the what was the name? You guys remember that movie that's coming out that I shared the art for? The big giant robots that come to life, and the movie's gonna have.
Oh yeah, it's a Netflix movie. I don't remember.
11 from.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but I remember you showing the poster art.
The electric something.
Okay.
Anyway, so the art style is very similar to that. I would play it for you guys, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. As far as copyright goes.
I think we're doing so
for you
good.
guys afterwards.
I want you to be able to post this, so I don't want you to have to deal with that. So we'll.
But I cannot recommend enough for you, anybody that's watching this. It's a clean lyric band, but yeah, it's so fun. I love them so much.
Right on.
Well, yeah, I wonder how he gets around that issue though. Issue of, I mean, can he make money on that?
I think they're at a point now because it's been around enough that it's open revenue
without getting in trouble. That's basically being able to actually,
Plus, it's done. It's what do they call it? Homage or mocking, whatever that is. That lets them get away with it.
Parody.
Satire.
Satire, yeah, parody satire.
Which my mindset is always, I've always felt if I had a property that I created that people wanted to use, as long as they're not straight up trying to do what I'm doing with it, I would probably hand it out like candy. Like, hey, don't try to, like, as long as I can tell, like, look, hey, you're not trying to rip me off for what I'm trying to get out of the thing I created, then I'm happy to let you do your version of it all day long. And it still helps what I'm doing with mine too, because it's still helping people want to come back to my material. Yeah. So
it'll lead people back to you.
Yeah. It's like it's like being an artist and saying, like, dude, pretty much everybody that's going to come by and want to make a remix, I'm like, yeah, go do it.
Yeah, they got, like AJ said, your name's got to be on it.
Yeah.
So people know where it came from.
Yeah, as long as that's going on, I'd be all about just, hey, go do it.
Well, it's like I heard the story that Kurt Cobain didn't consider himself famous until Weird Al wanted to do a parody of one of his songs,
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess I'm famous now.
Yeah. Which is a pretty legitimate way to decide if you mean it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I after we had put out, I think we put out like 5 books. I found us on a torrent site, and I was like, "That's how you know we're big boys. When you can download us off when you can pirate us off the internet."
Someone went to the trouble to pirate your book.
Yep. Someone scanned our book and put it online.
Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of things that people don't even think are worth stealing. So, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that one time, remember we did the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
Justin and I, we did the Rose Bowl show, and the show itself was in the locker rooms of the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the way into the locker rooms, they had this wall up, and the promoter said we could use the wall. The promoter is Chris Brady from Folklore Fantasies. And he said we can put posters and stuff on the wall leading up. So we had put one of Justin's posters up. I think it was the Iwo Jima one, or was it the coming around the corner one?
Probably the Iwo Jima one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the Iwo Jima, the ZKS one we have, where all the ZKS soldiers are standing on top of the bodies, all the zombie bodies, and they're holding up the ZKS flag. Anyway, we put that poster out there, and at the end of the show, we went to go collect the poster, and it had been stolen.
Of course.
And we were like, well,
cool. Somebody wanted to steal one of our posters.
Right. It was like a catch-22. Like, someone stole our poster. Hey, someone liked our shit enough to steal our stuff,
Yeah.
So, like, happy, sad.
Well, I mean, that person stole that poster and showed it to whoever the hell the first people that they ran home and said, "Hey, look what I jacked." And,
Right.
You know, it just only sucks that you don't know that story. You don't know. It would have been nice to see that moment. You know.
Yeah.
Right. One time at Comic-Con, when I was on the train trolley, and we were going to Comic-Con, I saw a kid leaving Comic-Con with a ZKS shirt, and I didn't know him. And I like crapped my pants. I was like, "Oh no, that's my shirt."
Yeah, that's another good sign when you don't know the person.
Right.
Like, yeah, all your friends have your shirts, but you know.
How we doing? What time is it? 3:16. We doing good?
We got like 45.
45.
I'll be done by then, or whatever.
Don't get cocky about it. Jeez.
No, I'm saying when I say whatever, it means I'll wrap it up regardless if I'm done or not, because I don't know if I will be.
What do you guys have planned for the rest of the day?
There's apparently a game night happening at my apartment.
Cool. Very cool. What are you gonna play?
I don't know. I'm not the one organizing it. A friend of mine and one of my roommates are organizing it. And it's a whole thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm big on
board game.
Board games.
Board game.
I have a bunch. I don't know. I don't think there's a specific
You don't have to
one.
yell, dude. The mic is right
What?
there.
Well, you still didn't hear me. So.
Justin's yelling. I'm like, dude, the mic is right there.
What did you say, Justin?
Like board game.
Yeah, board
Game
games.
night?
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a ton. I don't know. I'll probably break out Wingspan. Everyone likes that game.
Yeah.
I don't know but I don't know. I think my roommate also has games and friend.
What? Tell me a little more.
The thing yet?
Tell me a little more about Wingspan, because I've never.
It's like a card. It's a card and board game where you kind of build a deck, and you build a deck of not deck, I guess, but you collect birds, and these birds infer powers to you. These powers are very bird-like. Don't think like, fire breathing or anything cool like that. And you just kind of and you have this tableau where you place the birds that you've been collecting on it, and they're providing you bonuses, and whoever gets the most points at the end wins. And these birds are making eggs, and there's a dragon version of this that is
there a lot of cool art?
But this is one of those games that even people who aren't fantasy nerd, everybody, even non-gamers I've played with on this, and they like it,
Like I said, is there really cool art on the cards?
It's got good artwork. It's a very clever game design.
Is it like a cool, easy to learn, or is it complicated?
It's right in the middle.
Okay, cool.
It's fairly easy.
That's what I like, dude. Right in the middle.
It's fairly easy to learn, but it can be complex because, it's based on what birds you collect, and they're all providing you things, and you can start doing combos. And that's cool. That's kind of that's where the gravy is, as they say.
But you could sit down, and someone could sit down and at least essentially first game be able to play and enjoy a certain level of success.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I've done it. I've seen it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of games I opened the box and had just the daunting level of pages to the instruction manual. I've had people gloss over, and they're like, I already knew they were done. We didn't even get the pieces out of the box, and they were like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pretty avid board gamer, and I have a friend who's even that puts me to shame. And we try and get other people. We try and play with other people all the time. Go to conventions and stuff, and you sometimes you throw down a box, and people's eyes start rolling back. They creep away as fast as they can.
Yeah.
And for good reason. Sometimes games are way too complicated for their own good.
They want a little bit of satisfaction in a reasonable time. Like, I mean, just even talking games, Monopoly. I like it, but I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to go the distance on Monopoly to the end.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I just don't care.
Not enough happens. Not enough interesting things happen in Monopoly to make it last as long as it does.
Right.
That, and I don't like. I personally don't like trying to screw other players. I'm a very egalitarian board gamer. Even when I'm playing like combat games, I try and like make alliances and stuff. Monopoly's too cutthroat for me. Like, it's too real world cutthroat for me.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that though, because about every other week or every week for maybe the last good few months, we've been able to keep a Hero Quest game going. And I've been able to drag friends in who have zero experience with anything like that. First game, they lived, they were happy. We did a couple levels. They were like, "Yeah, keep my character paper," because we were able to get them in, get them playing, enjoying it. Like you said, it's a team sport. Everybody's there playing together, so nobody's gonna let anybody make a too terrible move. It's very supportive for a brand new player, and they wanted to play again. And so it's okay, sweet. This is a good game for people who can't even remotely consider trying to D&D. But like I said, it's been fun. At least 3 people who would have never probably wanted to play a game like that before. Now, if they can come over, we just make it so we can jump them in on wherever we're at because they want to play.
That's good. That's good. That's what you want to do too. You want to be inclusive. You want to get everybody in. Because you need more players. You need more damn players.
Yeah,
I'm always down for a game night if anybody is up. Let me know.
Yeah, you want me to drag my board games out there?
Yep. I have a couple of different Munchkin games.
I like Munchkin.
Didn't somebody just talk about the Thing game? Somebody was talking about
Justin, you were talking about the Thing game. I have not played that yet.
It's great. You need like at least 6 people, but preferably like all 8.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because there's one like piece for each character in the movie. And
Okay.
the more people you have, the better. But you need at least like 5 or 6 for
Because
sure.
if there's not enough people, there's not enough mystery, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah, you need to be suspecting. Yeah, if there's only 3 people in Clue that could have done it, it's
right. Yeah,
not that fun.
But
So I'm hearing you say game day at my house at some point.
Okay. Yeah,
Do you own it, Justin?
No, but a good friend of mine does. We play his. Like whenever like a couple of people cancel D&D, they're like, okay, well we'll just play Thing instead. So
nice.
I'll get it if you guys want to come over and play.
It's not that bad. It's like $60 for that game, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's not terrible because I mean it's a really nice game, like really well done.
Or we can go over to there's actually a board game place in Redlands where you can go rent games and play.
Yeah.
And they have tournaments and all that stuff too. And they even have they'll teach you how to play these games.
Yeah. They have a spot upstairs where they'll run a bunch of games, and again, there's games you want to buy and you want to trial them, and they flat out tell you, hey, why don't you just come down, pay to sit and play the games you want to play, see if you want to buy them, because any real serious games, I think you're starting at 50 if you're lucky, and you're going to 50. So, and that's pretty cool. I mean, they're trusting everybody to put the pieces back, to take care of them, to not ruin them.
They don't saying play the game before you buy it. Like, a lot of places won't even do that. They're like, well, buy it, and if you don't like it, too bad.
Man, games are expensive. You should at least be able to drive them, test drive them.
And they have, I'm going to
like my wife.
Zing.
And everybody got quiet.
Yeah.
That was the conversation killer.
Time of death.
Right. Wah, wah. Justin drew a butt.
I did.
Nice. Good.
Are you gonna draw a cover for
it? It folds over like a
okay.
card. I need to do the lettering. I have to do the lettering in the dark because it's too bright in here for the lettering to come through on my light board. But yeah, see, it'll fold over like
That's awesome.
Wow. Nice.
The camera. So this is gonna fold over like so when I'm done, and then open up.
That reminds me, gentlemen, I will need a half hour of your time after the show's over. I hope you can spare it.
You've got like 12 hours of my time. If you want it.
Justin, I need you to stay clothed during that time, though.
Well, I can't. Once the cameras go off, I can't make any guarantees.
Well,
All these rules, AJ. Drawing, talking, keeping clothes on.
that's right.
I'm just waiting for you to yell at us and say, it puts the effing art on the paper. It puts.
I've said that many a time, sir.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for art from you.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
You got me. You got me on that one. You know. Yeah.
You know what, Joel? You do a lot of shows. Why don't you tell us about anything you have coming up, where we can catch you at, and even your DJing gigs. Where you guys got going on?
The next real. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I was doing a bunch of stuff, and I took a quick little break from DJing. Here's the thing: when you're trying to do a bunch of shows, you got to do the footwork to get these shows to happen. And so I didn't do the footwork enough to get February and March going. But I'm gonna do the Joe show as far as like having a table. That's in May. Just small gigs, local spots, just hour sets. I'm going to be able to do a couple of those. And I'm being pretty nondescript, but it's because off the top of my head, I can't tell you what time and what day they are. I'd have to look in them.
No nerds and hip hop shows or anything like that?
I'm going to talk to my buddy over there to see what he's doing. They had just done a big mall show that I didn't get to be a part of. I was out of town doing shows up, doing some work in Santa Cruz with a buddy. But he's going to definitely try to be working on more of those. He's always busy. Josh is always working on something. So yeah, I need to talk to him about what he's going on. I'm pretty much down for whatever he does. He puts a lot of love into it. But minus the Joe show, I don't have anything super crazy to tell you right this second.
Now, the Joshua he's talking about in the Nerds and Hip Hop event that we're talking about is an event put on by the guy that puts on this book, General Joshua.
Yeah.
And this is great because it comes with its own box, like an actual box.
Yeah. And Josh really sported the money and the love to make it a really good product. Like it's
the other box is all artistic, and it comes with the book and a postcard and even some art on the inside page too. That, which Justin is not allowed to look at.
No, just seeing the back of it.
So, but you should check him out if you can. Here's his barcode if you want to scan it.
Zoom in real close, a little closer, bro, because I know I can have trouble seeing it. I just wanted people to be able to see it, how they get that. No, that's hard. It's got to be really clear to scan from.
Okay. And we're back to Justin. Check them out, Nerds and Hip Hop. Nerds with a Z.
I know Instagram is probably the easiest way to keep track of what Josh is doing.
He is promoting all over the place right now, putting on new shows. Yeah, lots of fun. And then you got the G.I. Joe convention coming up, right?
Yeah, I always love that. Temecula, twice a year. I'm sure they would do more if they could, but it's an endeavor. Dude, Evan, all the guys that are involved in that, really, I think they do a pretty good job. You know, they don't have any major backing support. It's just them putting it together, but they're consistent. It's always fun. I love being a vendor there. If for nothing else, I meet some cool customers, being with the other vendors, kind of same faces most of the time, and I enjoy seeing all of them. So to me, it's a good time no matter what. Obviously, I want to sell stuff, but I'll be honest, some of my favorite shows were not the days that I sold the most. Some of the ones where I sold the most, I was so busy selling, I didn't really get to visit with anybody, you know? So it's kind of, I don't know. There's that. But everybody
Cool
there.
show. It's mostly just big action figures and whatnot.
Yeah, it is a Joe show, but there's people there. There's people though that sell all kinds of completely, absolutely not related to Joe at all, but stuff that you'd want to find. I mean, there's people there selling old Mego to you name it. You'll see Battlestar Galactica up to 3.0 sometimes to, I don't know. But people always bring some pretty interesting stuff. It's like Joe, it's even on the signs, they're like, it's the Joe show, but also they show like 6 other pictures of other brands of things that you might be interested in. Because, hey, it's hard. I don't know if there's not always enough hardcore dedicated Joe fans to do a whole show in certain areas.
Well, you figure people that are into G.I. Joe are going to be into these other things too.
They're going to be. I mean, it's
it's a Venn diagram of interest, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think some of the best sales I've ever made there were on things that were not Joe related. So I never know always what to bring because you never know what people want. Just like when I go to a show, I don't know what the hell I'm going to walk out with. So
information's up on the screen right now for those of you that might be interested. It's on Sunday, May 4th at the Embassy Suites in Temecula, California.
Yeah.
I know that you and Richard will have a booth set up, right?
Yeah, I'm working on getting a booth also for Alex and them. So from the Shadow Nose Network to be able to podcast from there. So I'm trying to get that done as well. So we might, if things go well, we're gonna have a three table booth. Which again is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun to be there with your friends and as we're hanging out on top of all the other cool stuff that you get to do there. Anytime you can be around a collection of people that are into same kind of stuff, you feel at home. Yeah. Oh, that's wicked. Mm-mm-mm. Good stuff.
All right, Joel, hold up yours.
I'm trying to get some color in there, but it's going a little slow.
Those are some very long feet.
Yeah, they're definitely I in the realm of art. Earlier when you're talking about trying to do other people's styles, when it comes to doing a very, very hyper realistic style, it's very hard for me. This is kind of the realm I'm always more comfortable in. The definitely more cartoony realm. So feet are weird, hands are big. If somebody's pointing at something, the index finger is extended and weird. I think that's when I talk about like Ren and Stimpy art, a lot of those goodies are some of my favorite devices for weirdness and fun. Also, it's a lot more friendly. It's easier. Like I can do a lot of weird stuff and not have to have it be perfect. So, but AJ, where's Jack?
He's in the back. Don't you see him?
Yeah, he hasn't been moving a lot. Is he okay?
He's fine. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Oh.
My brother-in-law, I guess you would call him,
Mm-hmm.
sister-in-law's husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he got me for Christmas. A Jack pillow.
A Jack pillow. I can say you were saying. I was like, wait, is Jack in here?
Yeah, I love that little guy.
There he is.
Come on.
What's up, Jack?
There you go.
What's going on, boy? What's going on? Oh, you're a good boy.
There's the real Jack.
He's kind of a famous little guy. I mean, is there really anybody that comes over that doesn't like want to steal him from you?
Well, no, because he's amazing. How about you?
Yeah. I think every time I'm over and I'm talking, like I'm joking, I'm telling your wife like, hey, if you guys go out of town, you can bring Jack over, and I think she thinks I'm kidding, but no, he can. You guys need to go out of town and let me watch the dog because he's too much fun.
That's because we don't leave town without Jack.
Oh, no. All right, well, I hope it never happens, but if you guys both simultaneously do a stint in prison, I will take care of it for you. And I'll bring him to visitation, just like, you know.
Unfortunately, there's a long line of people that want that.
Well,
I mean, we'll be in jail and also my dog.
Yeah, well, we'll take visitation. So just get everybody on the list and make sure we can communicate. And I'll take. Can I have like Sunday, Monday? Is that?
Well, you'll have to argue with a lot of nieces and nephews. And honestly, I think they can take you.
Well,
so we'll see.
Well, maybe I'll be about time. Who finds out you guys are going up? And who gets to the house first,
Right. We are coming up on about 24 minutes left.
Cool.
We're chugging along. Everybody looks like they're making great time.
Yeah, this ought to be just about perfect for real.
Yeah.
Good thing for Justin, he cheated and did most of his all last week.
No, I'll say right now, I do all my pencil drawing first. I would spend the whole thing just trying to come up with an idea. It'd be the most boring thing in the world. It takes me like a week just to get the sketch right. And for when I want to do a finished piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no way I'm going to do that live. That would be the most boring show in the world.
How much prep did you do, Joey?
I mean, I come up with a pretty rough drawing of it too before I go. I print it out and put it on my light board. I mean, I could show you what it looked like, but maybe I don't know where the hell I put it. Oh, it looked like this. I just, it's a stupid rough I made in Photoshop just by scribbling shapes and then refining it, and then print it out. So about an hour, at least, probably of prep work.
Yeah, see, I do a lot of prep work. I do the whole like final pencils and everything.
And Joel just pulls it out of his ass.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's like 3 different stages of how it works. It's really cool.
Yeah, but it's also when like I said, I like watching the stuff you guys are doing, and there's so many things that I can see that you're doing that. Again, you got to do that prep. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing, AJ, when I am pulling it together at the last minute, there's a lot of things I wish I'd done, what I saw in my head that are just not going to happen on the paper because I didn't have time to figure it out.
Yeah,
so,
don't take it as an insult. I think it's amazing. You can pull this crap out of your.
No, that's what I like about this. Is like me, you, and Joey are doing 3 different styles.
Yeah.
Of like I have like a lot of prep. Joey has a little bit, and you have none. I think it's cool to see how the
different
how different it comes out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And for the people watching, I think they get to see it too. And I don't want to like PSA it, but hey, if you're at home and you're watching and you want to draw,
just draw, and
draw.
Yeah.
That's what these are for. I mean, you can either watch us and enjoy along and draw, or you can save this and come back later and maybe use it as a reference point. You see any art you want to add to it, and you want to send us what you've drawn during this time, please. We'll show it off. We love it.
Yeah.
And if you want to hit us up and draw along online with us,
just shoot me an email and we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
We basically try and do like one of these a month.
Every holiday at least. And in fact, Joel, you were in charge of naming the next one.
Oh, okay. What's going on with that one? What
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patty's Day. It's right. Okay.
You have 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
We got to
when you
figure
said
out
I
a
had-
date too, for sure.
I thought we did the 15th.
Oh, did we? Is that Friday 15th?
Saturday.
Saturday. Yes, right. Because it's 2 days before. Okay, St. Patrick's. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
Everybody okay with the March 15th date?
I think so. I need to check with the missus. And make
If
sure we
not,
have-
everybody online, March 15th. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they're okay or not. I'll be sitting here with a piece of paper that's blank going, I wish I wasn't alone. But March 15th, we'll be doing the next live draw, which is Leprechaun and St. Patrick's Day theme. Joel will come up with an appropriate title soon enough. The image that you're seeing up in the corner, the heart, the broken heart with the blood and everything going through, that was actually a concept I came up with and threw at Richard, which he drew. And then I photoshopped and cleaned up a little bit. That's for us today. For the next one, we'll be doing a leprechaun thing. Like I said, I've got some great images I'm going to be pulling out. Joey, I'll need your help on that one.
Okay.
We're going to do a little horror style of leprechaun type of. I wanted to do Leprechaun in the Hood, but I got outvoted.
Well, I just think if we're all doing the same thing, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
That's my only thing.
So
It's like I like different ideas.
I still think Leprechaun in the Hood would be all. But draw whatever kind of leprechaun you want. If you want to participate, doesn't necessarily have to be a horror style. It could just be a leprechaun. We don't care.
Doesn't have to be a leprechaun.
Draw something, anything. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it's St. Patrick's Day related.
Exactly.
And if you want to join us, hit us up with an email at forbiddenpanel@gmail.com. And I will send you instructions on how to join us and draw along with us. If you just want to follow us and watch and use the excuse to draw the 3-hour block of time on that Saturday, you can do the same thing by following us on all of our social media, contact information pages and stuff everywhere that we are. Yeah, hopefully we'll have more people here. I will warn everybody, the next live stream will be a celebration of St. Patrick's Day, so expect some green beer, maybe a little inebriation, and us partaking in some green substances. So it might be a little more adult themed here. So just keep that in mind when you're tuning in for the next episode.
Yeah.
We're not done here yet, so we're just going to keep going chugging as we have 15 minutes left in our time.
But I'm really liking, because we didn't talk about this before until this episode. I would really enjoy seeing what people would do.
Yeah.
I would really encourage everybody to participate, friends, family, kids, anybody like that. If you're at home, use this time as an excuse to just ask, especially if you're watching and you have questions about art, how to do a straight line, how to run Photoshop, any of the art styles, the markers, where we learned, what we do, rulers, any of our equipment, any of the paper, anything you have questions about, just ask in the chat room. We will be more than happy to answer. And
I'm going to say, I know if you guys, if you're willing to send submissions to AJ to show what you've done, I'm sure AJ will say, hey, if you're comfortable with us showing it, then we will. If not, hey, we still would love to see it just within our group of artists, because we'll appreciate it. It's still going to be things we didn't do. So
absolutely. And if you give me permission, when you send in the link, tell me, when you send in your images, tell me right away, do I have permission to share the image? And do I have permission to print the image? Okay, because if you do give me permission to print the image, I'll put that image in a comic book of all these images that we're collecting at the end of the year that'll come out. So if you would like to be a part of that book, show us what you're working on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the best piece of art you've ever put out. We'll be the judge of that. Like, as you can tell, all these guys hate their own artwork. I love every single thing they do.
But the thing that we get out of this was, again, we were talking about earlier how this gets us to be better artists. So whether you're in this podcast or you're watching and you're using it for the same reason, it's just good experience and a good time equally for all of us, you know. And hey, if you don't feel comfortable being on the spot, you let us deal with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of us, our favorite thing is to be on camera. Anybody want to raise a hand to say your favorite thing being on camera is not your first choice?
Yeah, that is
That
not my specialty. No,
But that's my job.
would be an accurate statement.
Yeah. So AJ got us to do it, and now we're doing it. We're getting better. So so again, hey, the other folks contributing, hey, you got the luxury, you can hide and just submit your picture. So we'll take it.
It'll be fun and cool. Even like I said, I can't draw, and this is the extent of my artwork, and this took me 51 years to learn how to draw. So, all it takes is the desire, and time. That's seriously all you need, and we'll do the rest. We'll help you in any way, shape, or form we can. We host these events once a month. We're going to start hosting them live so that other people can come over to the house in a different location. We're going to be participating in other live draws with other people, other companies, other podcasts. We've got a lot of joint stuff coming up. A lot of exciting news. We're going to try and make sure 2025 isn't a slow year for FP. Or at least try to make you have a reason to, find some other happiness to look online. A good reason to be online instead of all the bad reasons right now.
Yeah. Hey, the bare minimum though, first advice, you got to let go and try. That's it.
All you got to do.
Yeah. We're definitely not judgy here. We're going to appreciate you giving it a go. And
13 minutes till the end. This is the end.
Oh man, that song, I feel like that song has to be listened to by yourself in full contemplation, and because every time you do that, it's going to be it's an emotional experience.
Preferably in the dark.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day of like a perfect Zen moment. That would be for me is I would be in a forest, in a pouring rain, with lightning and everything coming down behind me, screaming the lyrics to Strangers at the top of my lungs. And I think like just the thought of that just brings me happiness and a smile and comfort, just that type of scenario.
Right.
You guys have anything like that? Like, where do you go? What's your happy place?
Does the bar count?
Huh?
Does the bar count?
Anything counts. Like, where do you close your eyes? Where do you go to? What's the perfect scenario for you? And you've got less than 10 minutes, so don't hog up anybody's time.
I mean, at work, wherever I've worked, and it's in the back of my head too. My happy place, and you'll probably be familiar with this, AJ, and knowing me long enough, is a hill overlooking Machu Picchu, and there is a llama contemplating it, looking at it. And I have this as my desktop theme for many different versions of this because people take this picture apparently when they're there, and I thank them for it because it is my happy place in my head too.
I mean, it's an epic place, and I've only seen it in pictures.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could be there. I don't see how you could probably physically be there without having a sense of euphoria. So you think even a llama, and llamas look pretty serious. They're pretty serious looking creatures. So
that's Joey's Patronus right there is a llama.
That's true.
I feel like llamas are definitely part of the groups of animals that when you look at them, you feel like they're thinking a heck of a lot more than maybe they are, but they sure look like they're contemplating some deep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With an occasional mouth move, but gosh, that is a really good choice. Really good choice.
Joel?
I've only gotten to do it a few times, but I want to do it more. But I've actually gotten to sit at Hearst Castle in good weather. When you go to Hearst Castle, you can sit just about anywhere on the property up there and just look down on the beach, and you can sit there as long as you want. So I did bring lunch and just draw and doodle. It's one of the most epic views of the beach of the California coastline you'll ever see. I love that place. I would have never been able to go there at the time when Hearst was living there because I wasn't famous in Hollywood or famous anywhere else. So the fact that I can go up there for like $18 and sit all day and enjoy that same epic view. I dig that place. There's a lot of cool places to be. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Well, think on it. We'll shoot over to Justin.
I also
What do you think then?
yeah.
Justin? And you can't use your kids.
Well, I only have one. I only have one, but I don't know. A happy place? I don't know if I ever really thought of one.
So,
Justin, can I save you and say that sometimes a happy place is not this big of a grand place you're at, but like where we are right now, like just I'm in my messed up, completely unorganized office, but it's my happy place. Or if your space at home where you do.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean for sure, like that. If I could be in my office and knowing that I don't have I can draw and I don't have like a time limit.
Yeah.
Or anything to do, afterwards. Yeah. And if I'm just that's it for sure. I'm just relaxed and
no responsibilities for
the day. Yeah. I'm like done with responsibilities for the day, and that's nice.
That is a perfectly good happy place.
Yeah, listen to music and draw and stuff for sure.
Yeah, like Machu Picchu, we all agreed I would love to be there, but right now we're stuck with pictures because just going to Machu Picchu isn't just flying there. It's like some ridiculous hike.
Right.
So that's not a happy. If that's the only time you have your happy place, man, we're really screwed. So if you can have your happy place in your house,
I was thinking more mental scape, but
I mean,
I tell you, let me tell you a story. I probably told you guys this a few times, but when I was in the Army, we at the end of basic training we have what's called a live fire exercise, and what you have to do is go through all these obstacle courses and stuff while
and they're shooting above your head, right?
Well, yeah, right. While they're shooting live rounds above you and explosions are going on and all this stuff, and it's supposed to simulate a wartime environment. Well, as somebody that's been in war, that environment was relaxing compared to actual war. But anyway, so we're doing all this stuff. It's our first time in such a chaotic environment. All this explosions going on. It's 4 a.m. We haven't had sleep. We had to march there 15 miles. We're in Georgia. It's winter. It's pouring rain. We're soaked. We're muddy. We had to crawl under like barbed wire, 200 yards of muddy barbed wire, the whole nine, and we're done. I mean, these bullets, man, you can feel the heat coming off of them, and you can hear them zipping around your ears and over your head.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that when they give instruction about how you're supposed to go through some of those obstacles, like if you do not stick to those, you will get shot because of how they're aiming, right?
You have a certain lane of operation and a certain bubble around you that you have to be mindful of, and if you step out that bubble, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
At the same time, they have to be mindful of where you are too.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to trust the people that are.
But so anyway, it's the end of this, and we're all sitting around in a circle. It's pouring rain out there. We're exhausted, and I just remember feeling all the water on me, washing everything away, and I'm just like, so nice and cleansing and relaxing. And after all that drama, my drill sergeant comes out, and he's like, "All right, guys, everybody stand at attention." And we all stand up, and we're all exhausted. And he's like, "All right, everyone on their back." And we're like, "Shit, we're gonna have to do sit-ups." So he makes us lay down, and he's like, "Everyone, look in the sky." And we look up in the sky, and as we look, you hear that down from Metallica coming on, and in the sky, the clouds look like waves, and it's a full moon, and it's just the most beautiful and serene thing you've ever seen. The clouds parted, there's no more rain, and Metallica's playing in the background. For Who the Bell Tolls is playing in the background, and we're all just sitting there like in a perfect moment, and that was just heaven to me, that moment. And
yeah, but you couldn't have planned that. That's where those moments are not. Those moments
no, that was like, Mother Nature was watching over us that day. We're like 5 minutes people.
The whole scenario, you can't recreate it because you're not going to be going through boot camp again. I don't think any of us could physically handle that.
Especially not in Georgia. Nope.
No. So, yeah.
Joey, are you done? Because yours came out great. I like the shadowing.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just noodling as I sit here and listen.
Looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, came out all right.
Yeah. And I know that there's a lot of like detail in there that I can't even fully see because I saw it as you were moving through. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
I really can't wait to see the compilation, AJ, with all this stuff in it, like that you said we're gonna eventually do.
You shut up, Joel. Don't give away my secrets.
Hey, it's just a little teaser.
Yeah.
Good job, Joey.
Thanks. Yeah, come out good.
Yeah, that looks awesome, man.
Not that you need any praise from me or anything.
I always appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll take praise anywhere I can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin's hiding his now.
No, I need the shadow because it's too bright in here for the light board.
Want me to turn off the light?
No, because then you won't be able to see you and stuff.
Well, I only need to see you for another 2.5 minutes. So once again, let's get everybody's final product up in the cameras. Joel, can you pop yours up?
Go slow.
Yeah, I mean you're getting as final. You're getting as final as I can get it right now.
Oh yeah,
That is great.
Very cool.
Get some ugly face in there. I don't know. That's where I was able to get to now. So I don't know. See if it's.
You gonna bring it down so I can scan it?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. And then we're going to take another close look at Joey's t-shirt. Can you show a little bit of mom's love in the background?
Can I show a little what?
A little bit of your mother's love in the background that you have there? The birthday?
Oh, that thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It was a birthday gift.
And you have my favorite print that you did.
Yeah. There's a whole wall of this shit.
That is a great print. I remember seeing that from the first times I met you. I was like, that's an awesome print.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, the only reason to have walls is to put stuff on it.
All right.
Yeah, I was like, oh look, somebody else who likes Dr. Fate. Woohoo!
If
Anyway.
you're done.
Oh yeah, that was right there. There's the front,
Oh, that's great.
and then open it up.
Oh hell yeah, that's
Or
great.
the other side?
Huh?
This side?
Well, that's just the back of the marker.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's the whole.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say solid advice for any guy. If you make a Valentine's Day card for a woman,
Nice.
you don't even have to make it amazing, but you're gonna slam dunk it. Just the fact that you made it.
Well,
so
look, that goes for a woman or a guy. It doesn't matter if you're straight, bi, LGBT, whatever.
Oh, anybody. Okay, you're right.
They'll
Anybody.
make anything that shows them love. They're gonna appreciate the hell out of it.
Yeah. Anybody. I probably would wow a guy even more because I'm trying to think of the last time I even ever got a hand done card that wasn't from a friend.
My wife does handmade cards all the time. It's really awesome. I have a box I keep them all in.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very crafty and poetic, so she's really good at that.
And with that will bring us to an end. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and everybody that participated. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jack. Look at all the people.
It's all the J crew today.
The J crew is kicking it with the A. J. What up? Forbidden Panels in the house. Make sure you check us out, forbiddenpanel.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're all over the world. We come to you on a weekly basis in different podcasts, different formats, and we will be back for another live draw March 15th here, Saturday, 1 to 4 p.m. for our Leprechaun Art live draw. Make sure you guys tune in. Until then, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks everybody.
Guys. Catch you later. Have an awesome day. Peace.